Tennessee's team. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. One's got to give.
I would think that the Tennessee secondary and the linebackers have to have a good day. Let's find out a little bit more about that. Former University of Tennessee receiver Terrence Cleveland is on the sidelines. Let's go to him. Terrence?
Guys, the Tennessee linebackers, which is the heart and soul of the Tennessee defense, will get a true test today. Dominique Stevenson and Raynoch Thompson are coming off injuries. Raynoch Thompson had hernia surgery in the off week. It'll be a good day to see if he's 100%. Dominique Stevenson's nursing a sore knee and an ankle. Sean Alexander will test those two players. Offensively for Tennessee, T. Martin needs to get into his zone. The young wide receivers are starting to come along and make plays for him. Eric Parker and Dante Starworth are showing the Tennessee football team that they're ready to make plays. Today will be a good test for Tennessee offensively and defensively. Let's see if T. Martin can stay into that comfort zone and make plays like he did against Georgia. Back upstairs to you guys.
Well, the kicking game also will be a factor. If any past experience with Alabama and Tennessee is to tell. But Andy, I know that you are a former player. I can see it in your face. You'd like to be down there playing today, wouldn't you?
I tell you what, this is a special day. Anytime Tennessee and Alabama play, it's a big one. It's a special one, and I wish I could run out there. I don't know if the Tennessee fans would want me out there instead of T. Martin, but in my heart, I wish I could be on the field.
They're both in the top 10. They're blood rivals. It's going to be a war. Alabama and Tennessee from Tuscaloosa.
CSS, Monday night is Volunteer Night, with the man whose career record ranks first among active NCAA head coaches, the Phil Fulmer Show. Tennessee football. Can T. Martin and the rest of the Vols pull off another national championship? Watch CSS and find out. And UT Classics. Tennessee football too good to see only once. CSS, your sports authority in the Southeast.
There's good with a mate. Oh, a 10.
Gretzky flip one in front. They score!
Straight drop back. He throws. Great pass.
Hopefully we'll see me in the golf tournaments.
If you don't have time to watch, log on to grtv.com. It's the store that's always open. When you want to find out more, bookmark grtv.com. Still deciding? Shop at your convenience 24 hours a day at grtv.com. Did you forget the 800 number? Click twice on grtv.com. Simply convenient. On demand. grtv.com.
Welcome back to Bryant-Denny Stadium, Tuscaloosa, Alabama. The boos you hear, the Tennessee Volunteers are coming on the field. Oh, what a game this should be. Alabama and Tennessee, it has been for many, many years just a Southern football classic, actually a national classic. And this year it's going to be bigger than ever because they're both in the top 10. They're both looking at BCS polls and national rankings and moving up in the standings. So a lot is riding on this one. It is a gorgeous day here in Alabama. A little bit on the chilly side for those in the shade, and the wind in this game very definitely could be a factor. It is out of the north at the top of the stadium, but the flags on the field have been swirling. So, Andy, the kicking game, it could affect the passing game on the deep balls.
Well, I would say more than anything, the kicking game is more affected by the wind. Yes, passes are affected sometimes, especially the deep ones. But you can control that a little bit with the play calling. If the wind happens to be really strong in one direction or other, you can kind of determine where you're going to throw the ball. The kicking game, there's nothing you can do. If you're right in the teeth of it, you got to go with it and try to get away a good kick. So it could be a factor.
Well, Smokey's ready to go. The Crimson Tide ready. We've had the toss of the coin at midfield. Alabama has apparently deferred until the second half, so Tennessee should be receiving. They're in here as tight as you can get. 83,000 on the street. The tickets outside. In the last few minutes, the asking price has been $175 to $200 per ticket. Alabama wins the toss and defers. Tennessee to receive. We have a rather unique position here in that we're located outside. So in the fourth quarter, if there's a pause, it'll be when we go for the Jackets. I figure when the sun falls down, Andy, it may get a little brisk out here.
I noticed your jacket's a little bigger than mine, so if there's a long pause, we're fighting over the big coat.
There you see it, 62 degrees. The winds at the moment are calm, and the forecast is for clear skies and a very cold night in here. But, of course, we'll settle this issue just as darkness falls in Alabama. Coach Philip Fulmer, Coach Mike DuBose, they both played for these respective schools, and both have done an outstanding job this year in coaching. Coach DuBose was thought to be on the hot seat at the beginning of the season, and certainly when he lost to Louisiana Tech, but then came giant wins over Arkansas, Florida at Florida, and last week Ole Miss. Sean Alexander getting all the publicity leading into this one, especially around here. He's averaging 155 yards per game, and he is on target in the Heisman race. He needs a big game today. On the other hand, Tennessee needs a big defensive effort to slow him down. I don't know that you can stop him, Andy, but at least you can slow him down.
Well, that's the key. He's going to get some yardage, and he's such a great running back, and he does have a really good offensive line. So he's going to get some yardage, but you can't let him come out and have a huge day. And on the same hand, it's kind of a double-edged sword. Tennessee also has to get some pressure on Andrew Zal when Alabama does pass. When he had time against Florida, he had a heck of a day against the Gators, so he can be very effective when he has time. So not only do you have to slow Alexander down, you also have to get some pressure on Zal, because he can be a very effective passer when he has time. And another key, I'm curious to see how Tennessee's going to come out and respond to the crowd noise. Against Florida, they didn't handle it very well. A lot of penalties, a lot of mental mistakes. I'm sure the coaches and the players have really worked on it, so it's going to be interesting to see, because it is going to be loud today.
All right, Lane Bearden will be kicking off, and deep is Leonard Scott, who has a 100-yard return to his credit this year. That, of course, came against Georgia. It's Tennessee and Alabama. Here we go. It's high and short, taken at the 10. Here comes Scott with room out across the 30, out to about the 31-yard line before he is dropped by a host of Crimson Tide players. You mentioned the Florida game. Andrew Zal in that ball game completed 70% of his throws, Andy, so he's a dangerous man.
He had a heck of a day. I remember I watched the game on TV. He had one pass on the screenplay that he got intercepted for a touchdown. Other than that, he had probably his best day as a quarterback, especially in that situation in Gainesville.
All right, it's up to T. Martin and the Volunteers now to see what they can do against the Tide defense. Secondary a little bit suspect at times, although great athletes. Linebackers are young. The front four very, very good. T throws back against the grain. Got some yardage out here a little bit. Of course, Cedric Wilson is taken down after picking up about 4. Miguel Merritt, the right linebacker, made the stop for the Crimson Tide. Chad Clifton, Fred Weary, Spencer Riley, Cozy Coleman, and Josh Tucker up front for Tennessee. T. Martin, Jamal Lewis, Philip Crosby at fullback. Cedric Wilson and David Martin are the wide receivers, and John Finlinson starts again at tight end. All right, Tennessee looking at a second down here, and about 6 yards to go. They put a man in motion to the top of your screen, and here comes T giving off to Jamal, who pops it hard and quick in there and got about 3. He's hit by Reggie Miles, the strong safety. Going to bring up a big down right away. Both teams trying to establish the tempo early. Alabama defensively and Tennessee offensively.
Last week against Georgia, I thought Tennessee did a great job play calling, keeping Georgia off balance. Tennessee's going to need to do the same thing today. Mix it up quite a bit.
They need 2 yards for a first down. It's 3rd and 2. The give is to Jamal, and he, I believe, has got it. Running with some authority from tailback. We'll wait for the official spot, but it looks pretty good. He was hit by Marvin Constant, the middle linebacker.
That's a key first down for Tennessee. To come out early in the game, first series, you want to get that first down is the first thing on the top of the list. Get the first down. Now they got a chance to get in better field position and open it up a little bit. Now you've got in a good situation as far as field position, no matter what happens.
Here's T. Martin. Sticking it in the stomach and then pulling it back out and going long, and a little too long. Intended receiver was Eric Parker. He was out there, but not a little too much air under it. Milo Lewis, the left corner, was chasing with him and looking back for the football all the time. But Andy, a perfect throw. It could have been there, but it would have had to be perfect.
It was good coverage by Wilson out there, and Tennessee's coming out. Obviously, they're going to open it up early. They threw the ball on first down, ran it second and third, and came out on first down and took a shot deep.
And threw it into a little bit of a wind. Here's T. He's got time. Incomplete. Dante Stallworth, the intended receiver, and Kelf Bailey broke on the ball beautifully, and that could have been a very dangerous situation for Tennessee. No score early in this game. The Volunteers and the Tide. They've been going to war for many, many years. It's a border war thing, and it's certainly one of the great rivalries. I'd say one of the top 3 or 4 in the country.
I mean, if this first series is any indication so far, Tennessee's not going to hold anything back today.
Well, it's 3rd and 10 right here, so they need a big, big play. And the blitz is on. T. Martin gets away from it and can't get away from the second wave. Marcus Spencer, backup strong safety, made the stop, and the Vols will have to punt. Tide defense, Kendall Moorhead, Kenny Smith, Cornelius Griffin, and Kenny King, all very good. Linebackers, young Salim Rashid, and he's going to be a great one. Lewis, Bailey, Miles, and Dixon in the secondary. David Leverton is set to punt for the Volunteers, and Freddie Millens will be receiving. Gets his kick away. It's high, but it's not very deep. It takes a little bit of a ball bounce and goes to the sideline and out of bounds inside the 30 at about the 28-yard line, where the Vols will go on defense, and Alabama's offense takes the field for the first time.
Nice time to see the matchup that everybody's been excited about, both Alabama and Tennessee players, coaches, fans. Tennessee's defense against Sean Alexander and Andrew Zhao. This is the exciting part of today's game. This is, I think, the key of the game is obviously is how can Tennessee slow Alexander and Zhao down.
Left tackle is number 60. Samuels, said by many to be the best in the country, and they like to run behind him. Here's Zhao, though, coming out in a shotgun with 5 wideouts on the very first play. Tennessee trying to knock down the receiver, and he's getting yardage. He fumbles, but it goes, I believe, out of bounds. Just shy of the 40-yard line. Freddie Millens hit by Westmoreland and Deion Grant.
Actually, a good play for Alabama. They came out with an empty backfield. Zhao's only back in the backfield, and ran a relatively safe screen play, and it turned out pretty well for him. Got close to a first down.
Offensively, Samuels, we talked about him. Red Mill, Paul Hogan, an excellent leader of that line. Cuthbert and Ellington. Dante Ellington is a freshman, by the way, and weighs about 345 pounds. In the backfield with Zhao and Sean Alexander, of course, you have Dustin McClintock at fullback, and tight end is Terry Jones. He's a good one. McAdley and Millens, your receivers. This time they come out in the I backfield with only 2 receivers out. Changing it up dramatically, and immediately they get a flag, and I think maybe motion on the part of Bama, but we'll wait for the official ruling. Boy, you could not ask for a better day for football. It is just beautiful. 62 degrees.
Still first down.
At the moment, the wind is not a big factor, so let's hope it stays that way. They march off 5 for motion, and the first penalty goes against the Tide. Alabama has got a pretty good situation after this Tennessee game. They have all home games except their final one. It's at Auburn. Tennessee's back home to face South Carolina next week. Here's Zhao giving off to his tailback, and not a whole lot of room for Alexander. Tennessee did a fairly decent job defensively at that time. Dominic Stevenson was the key man. Defensively, Sean Ellis, John Henderson, a freshman, Darwin Walker, and Will Overstreet on the line. Linebackers are extremely good. Westmoreland, Stevenson, and Raynoch Thompson. Raynoch's a finalist for the Butkus Award this year. And in the secondary, Andre Lott, Dwayne Goodrich, Fred White, and the All-American Deion Grant. Zhao out of the gun. Got a little time. Threw it a little too far. Both quarterbacks, Andy, may be pumped a little bit here because the adrenaline, we've seen each man go very deep and way off target a little too long.
How could you not be excited about this game and pumped up? That's understandable, but I'm surprised really both teams have come out in the first series and both have taken a shot downfield, trying to get a big play early. If nothing else, trying to loosen the defense up some, but they've taken, Tennessee and Alabama have taken a shot downfield.
Goodrich doing a good job on Buchanan that time, Shamari Buchanan. So Alabama looks at a 3rd and 13. Big for both the offense and the defense. And Zal goes into the gun, gets a low snap, and clears it out. If they didn't have a whole lot of time, fires it out to Alexander. He's not going to get the first. I think he's going to come up a yard or so short. It was a good call and a good play, but Tennessee dropped him a little bit short, Westmoreland primarily.
Well, you see another reason why Sean Alexander is so dangerous and such a good player. Zal has some pressure. He finds probably his 3rd guy in Alexander and dumps it to him for a 5-yard catch, and yet he turns it almost into a 15-yard gain and a first down. He's dangerous with the ball, whether he's getting it with a handoff or catching a short pass.
Sean Ellison on that one also. All right, Eric Parker drops deep, and it's Deion Grant back this time. Not Parker. It's going to be a short one, and Grant will get away from it. It takes a pretty good Tennessee bounce and dives somewhere around the 16 or 17-yard line. All right. We have timeout here with 10:42 to go in the first quarter. There is no score in Tuscaloosa between the Tide and the Vols.
For the title is on.
See you later. Touchdown.
It's college football season, and we've got your Big 12 excitement right here.
Absolutely sensational. Oh, my goodness. Right off the side. He's got it. Touchdown.
College football is definitely back.
Good night.
The excitement of SWAC football is here. There is nothing better than a battle in the SWAC. The fans, and the football. SWAC football is the best. Don't miss SWAC football. It's the great young stars of the future delivering the best in college football action today. Stay tuned to this SWAC television network station, the home of classic SWAC football.
Stories you haven't heard from the network that knows Hollywood best. The E! True Hollywood Story. Every night at 9, only on E!
Back here at Tuscaloosa, no score between Alabama and Tennessee. If there is a advantage in this ball game, Tennessee would have it as far as depth is concerned, Andy, in that they play more people and they have more experience than Alabama, especially with their second-line people.
Well, and that can be a key in a game like this. It's going to be obviously a very physical game. The Tennessee and Alabama game was always physical, rough, tough. Guys can get banged up and dinged up. So that could be a key. Tennessee being a little more deep, having a little bit more depth than Alabama, that could be a big factor.
You saw the numbers there on T. Martin, who has had a few games in which he didn't seem to be 100% as far as health is concerned. It probably all goes back to the Florida game about the second play when he suffered a shoulder injury. Then he got banged up real good against Georgia, but now we're told he's 100%. He hands off to Jamal. Jamal bounces outside, picks up a little yardage before Constant, the middle linebacker, made the stop for Alabama. First quarter of play. Glad you could be with us on CSS as we bring you one of the great games in Southern football.
See Lewis right up there, nice job, nice hold, and got nice yardage on first down. I think both teams are still trying to fill each other out a little bit, although they both have taken a shot down the field, just trying to get a feel for what Alabama's thinking on defense and vice versa.
All right, 6 yards to go for a first. It's second down for Tennessee. The give is fake to Jamal and a pass out here beautifully to Neil Johnson, who caught it falling down, or who knows what might have happened, Andy.
Yeah, that was a heck of a fake. I was watching Lewis on the other side, but a nice fake by Lewis and Martin, and a big play, big first down. And you're right, if he could have got that ball in his stride, it was nothing but green grass in front of him.
That's the first catch of the year for Neil Johnson. He's done a pretty good job blocking for Tennessee when they've gone to a double tight end. He's been very good. Tennessee with only 2 receivers in the I backfield this time. Looking now at a first down and 10. They give it to Jamal, and Jamal crashes across the 35 to the 36-yard line. He's hit by Kendall Moorhead, the left defensive end. Andy, it looks to me like Jamal is running a little harder than we have seen him this year. At least he is not dancing at all. He's heading straight into the line.
Well, as he said last week, he's going to run with more reckless abandon and hit the holes harder, and he did against Georgia. He actually banged his shoulder up, slammed in there a few times, but he's doing the same thing this week. He's hitting the hole very hard, making his first initial cut, and then getting north and south, and that's what you have to do, and that's why he's such a great running back. He's had his ability to do that.
Great pickup on first down. He got 6 yards. T stands up and throws, and it is going to be complete on the bounce. Eric Parker. What a great amount of concentration that was, as you will see here in a moment. He had every chance to drop that one, but really looked it in. Beautiful play.
That was a heck of a catch. You see actually pretty good coverage by Lewis. He gets a hand on him and is on his hip. Parker can't get by him, but actually a nice throw, a little bit underthrown, which is good in that situation, and great concentration by Parker. It almost looked like a Deion Grant type of catch.
Yes, it did. First down and 10. Here is Lewis. Ooh. Got hit by Milo Lewis low, or if he'd have gotten to the sideline, it would have been lights out. Jamal Lewis just 1 step away, but you have to give Milo Lewis a lot of credit there because he went right down low, and knowing the strength and power of Jamal, that's about the only way you can do it.
Well, that was a good tackle by Lewis, and Jamal Lewis almost had it, like you said, he almost broke that. And I think Alabama was in the blitz. Tennessee caught him, got the seam, and very close to breaking it.
Second down and 7 yards to go in Alabama territory at the 38-yard line. Here's the give to Jamal. He gets pretty good yardage down across the 35 to the 34-yard line. Salim Rashid made the stop of Jamal Lewis. Rashid is a freshman, true freshman.
That's 2 plays in a row. Alabama's brought linebackers in like a sort of a run-type blitz, and Tennessee's done a good job both times picking the guys up, getting a hat on them, and Jamal doing a nice job seeing the blitz, making a quick cut, and getting upfield for positive yardage.
A little too far out for field goal right here because it would be into the wind, so they need 3 yards for a first down. Big for the Vols. They bring a man in motion out here, and they send Jamal. They fake it to Jamal, and now T is going to have to run for his life, and he's not going to make it. He's going to be dropped. It started out beautifully. It sort of fell apart, thanks in part to the Alabama defense. But, Andy, I detected a little bit of confusion on that play.
Something didn't look right. It looked like after the play fake that T really didn't know where he was looking for, who he was looking for. I couldn't. I looked downfield, and I really didn't see anybody open. In this situation, there's not much he could do unless he could have gotten around to get rid of it to throw it away instead of taking a sack. But it didn't look clean from the get-go.
Leverton will be kicking to Millens. Freddie Millens is standing back at his 10-yard line. What wind we have right now is blowing into the face of David Leverton. And a delay of game. This may be intentional, I'm not sure. Or a little better angle, perhaps, for David, who has had a very, very good year. Millens, by the way, is having a great year himself. He's had 3 games receiving of over 100 yards. Of course, Cedric Wilson for Tennessee is averaging over 100 yards per game receiving. Now we're set to go again. The flag's picked up and 5 yards marched off, and Leverton will stand at his 41-yard line and kick it toward, or maybe toward, Freddie Millens. He gets it high and deep.
Good kick.
It gets the right bounce. Oh boy, did it! Half-yard line. Wow,
what a kick. I saw it in the air. I saw it was tailing off. I knew it had a chance to take a good hop, and luckily for Tennessee it took the perfect hop.
We'll break on that great kick. We're in the first quarter, and there's no score in Tuscaloosa between the Tide and the Vols.
Hot water fast. Natural gas heats water twice as fast as electric. Natural gas can, electric cannot. Plus, a gas water heater saves you up to $200 a year in utility bills over same-size electric. Natural gas can, electric cannot. More hot water every time you need it. Lower utility bills every month, all year long. Natural gas can, electric cannot. For more hot water now, natural gas can.
Advance Auto Parts presents part number 64. Tom, head of PDQ.
Hey, groovy guy, I'm looking for a exhaust gas recirculation valve for my 76 Cordova.
If you need hard-to-find parts, it doesn't matter what model or even what decade your car is from. With PDQ, you'll usually get the part overnight. Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people.
Trouble doesn't wear a watch. That's why State Farm offers its 24-hour Good Neighbor service from participating agents.
Hello, State Farm's Good Neighbor Service. This is Gina. How may I help you? Sure, I can help you with that.
So you can call your agent's office at any time, day or night, to start a claim, ask a question, and get the help you need.
All right, time back in. David Leverton, 44-yard kick, but most important, it went out on the 1-foot line. And Tom Mattingly points out that in this same situation last week against Ole Miss, Alabama had a drive of 99 yards, which turned out to be perhaps the biggest drive in that game. And now they have their backs to the wall, and Tennessee has a chance defensively to really do some damage right here. Zal goes into a straight-eye backfield. Only one receiver out, and they give it to Sean Alexander, and he gets maybe a foot, no more. Tennessee's right side defensively really collapsed on that one and did a good job, led by Sean Ellis.
Actually, I'm surprised Alabama didn't just run a quarterback sneak just to get a yard or two to try to get some breathing room. But I guess when you got a guy like Sean Alexander, you got to have confidence no matter where you're on the field that he can get it out of the end zone.
Well, he got it from the 1-foot line to maybe the 1-yard line. 2nd down and 9 to go for Alabama. Just looking for a little breathing room right here. Tennessee expecting almost anything on the defensive side. They pitch it to Alexander. He's outside. And he's got the first down. And Fred White had to chase him down along with Eric Westmoreland.
That's a huge play for Alabama. Back deep, 2nd down, run a sweep. Actually, it looked like Tennessee did a nice job stringing it out and having a chance to make the play. Right there, a broken tackle. You can't tackle Sean Alexander with one arm, and that's why he's so great. He found the seam and made the big play.
That was Raynoch Thompson who tried to arm tackle him there, just trying to reach for him and couldn't bring him down. And Fred White and Westmoreland finally do chase him down, but they got out of the hole. And it's out to the 16-yard line where it's 1st down and 10 to go for Alabama. 3 wideouts at the bottom of the screen. They throw it in the middle to Carter, and Carter is racked up immediately. Antoine Carter is hit and stopped by Westmoreland primarily. So that was a good defensive reaction by Westmoreland. Carter's numbers had a big game last week. 4 minutes, 56 seconds to go in quarter number 1 in a Southern warfare. Alabama and Tennessee. Used to always be played on the 3rd Saturday in October, but now with the division of the conferences, it floats a little bit. 4 wideouts, 5 now, 4 at the bottom of the screen. Tennessee trying to get pressure and not getting a whole lot. Sean Alexander got knocked down over there by Eric Westmoreland, who at the moment is playing the best game of his life, perhaps. He's been in on virtually every tackle so far in this ball game, Andy. Well, he's going to have to, and it looks like when Alabama spreads the field out and puts Alexander in the slot position, he's going to be on him. And a good tackle. It took a great catch by Alexander, but it was pretty good coverage. See the protection up front. Zal had, pretty good protection up front. Tennessee needs to get some heat on him because, like I said earlier, against Florida, when he had time, he made things happen. And we've got to get some heat on him if we're going to slow him down. 3rd down and 2. They should go behind Their left tackle Samuels, that's where they always go, and that's where he goes. And Tennessee read it beautifully and dropped him short of a first. Fred White came up from safety. Dominic Stevenson there also. That was a nice defensive reaction by Tennessee, because when he cut back, Andy, that's where he usually does the real damage.
Yeah, and there was only one guy there. That was a huge tackle in the open field and a huge down for Tennessee. Alabama had gotten out of the hole, gotten a little bit of momentum going, and then Tennessee turned right around, turned the tables, and shut them down on third down. So a huge, they let them out of the hole, but still a big series for Tennessee's defense.
Patrick Morgan is back to punt for Alabama. Eric Parker to receive. You saw the tail end of the replay there. Nice kick, backing Parker way up to the 25-yard line. Looking for daylight, cuts back against the grain. It's not there. Good reaction by Alabama covering defensively that time. Shante Ray was the man who made the stop. So Tennessee goes on the offense. Neither team able to muster anything significant here in the first quarter. We're sitting on zeros.
Big mistake by Tennessee in the special teams. A huge mistake. Wind up offsides. Gives Alabama a 1st and 10. That's something you can't have. That's
brought
really
it all back.
That's really no excuse for that. Tennessee didn't even have the block on. We're trying to set up the return, and we had somebody lined up in the neutral zone. That's something you can't have.
And there is a very frustrated, it must have been Miles, because he's the man that Philip Fulmer was talking to.
There's no excuse for it in any situation, but if you have the block on and you're in a situation where you have to get to the punter, maybe you can understand a guy being anxious, but Tennessee was setting up the return that time. There was really no need to jump the gun.
So instead of Tennessee having the ball in fairly decent position, they give it to Sean Alexander, who reels off big yardage and gets probably another Heisman vote or two as he races up across the 45 before Dwayne Goodrich out of the secondary can make the stop. They pull it back and spot it on the 45-yard line, but it's 1st down and 10 to go.
Alabama just running the power sweep, fullback leading. You know, actually nobody was a good run by Alexander, but there wasn't much that he had to decide on just to get it out there and run. There was a pretty big opening there. A nice job by Alabama shutting Tennessee's containment down.
Tennessee now looking at Sean Alexander standing in the backfield by himself as Zhao turns and gives it to him, and Alexander gets positive yardage before he is knocked down shy of the 50. Sean Ellis made the stop for Tennessee defensive end. It'll be 2nd down and 8 as they give him a couple. He's averaging 155 yards per ball game. Sean Ellis is the man down for Tennessee, it appears. He is shaken up a bit. And, man, they cannot afford to lose him.
Well, that would be a huge loss. Although Tennessee's strong in the defensive front, and he's one of the leaders, not only on the defensive front, but just a team leader. He makes plays. It would be huge to lose Sean Ellis.
He's coming off with the assist of a couple of trainers, but you see he is at least putting pressure on both legs, so perhaps it's not serious, and our man Terrence will be checking on that. Bernard Jackson has replaced him at defensive end. Jackson is a very good athlete and extremely quick. Not as big and strong, though, as Sean Ellis. 2nd down and 8 at the Alabama 48-yard line. And timeout is going to be called. Alexander now has 37 yards rushing in 6 attempts in this ball game. So we'll take a little break right here along with you with 1:44 to go in the first quarter of play in Tuscaloosa. Bryant-Denny Stadium. There's no score between the Tide and the Vols.
On CSS, Wednesday night is Mississippi night with the University of Southern Mississippi head coach's show, The Jeff Bower Show. Formerly of Tennessee, Ole Miss football with David Cutcliffe. The Bulldogs head coach, The Jackie Sherrill Show, and Mississippi State football. Do you believe the season these guys are having? Think they can keep it up? Watch CSS and find out. CSS, your sports authority in the Southeast.
Oh, that's good. We need some more toilet paper.
All new adventures.
Bad monkey.
All new songs.
Getting gay with kids is here.
All new drama.
Whoa, dude.
Same old attitude.
You're going to be held back a grade if you don't... Did you just flip me off?
South Park, Wednesdays at 10 p.m., 9 Central, only on Comedy Central.
This summer, we've got a new season of Oz. But until then, every Wednesday night at 10, get inside the walls of M City and relive the first 2 seasons of this powerful and compelling series, Oz. Prepare yourself for the season premiere and find out who your friends really are. Oz, every Wednesday night at 10.
Guys, the update to Sean Ellis is he has a bruised knee. That's good news for Tennessee. He should be able to go back in the football game. Back upstairs to you.
Okay, thank you a lot, Terrence. 1:44 to go in the first quarter, no score. Both teams have been a little bit on the sluggish side as far as the offense is concerned, but I guess on the other side you could really say it's been good defense. Now, Tennessee did make a monumental mistake lining up offsides when it was a 4th down, gave Alabama a 1st down, and that's where we stand right now with the ball at the 48-yard line of the Tide. Zhao getting a little pressure. He's going to screen it out to Alexander. He spins off a 1-man and picks up some yardage before he is knocked down. Not enough for a first, but he's hit by Bernard Jackson, but there was a chance for him to be hit at the line of scrimmage. You just can't grab at this guy. You have to lock up Andy and bring him down because he's not going to go down with just a hand.
And you do. You can't get overzealous and over anxious and try to get a huge hit because he is so nifty. You see White trying to get the big hit. Not as out of control as I thought, but you do have to be in control and not let him take his first move.
Big down here, 3rd down and 5 with the ball right at midfield. Alabama in the shotgun. Zhao with time to throw. Throws it complete. It's going to be close. Jason McAdley. The split end hit by Fred White. And we'll see where they spot it.
See, so far Alabama, they've taken one shot down. They've taken one shot down the field long. Everything else has been in 3, 4, 5 yard range. Primarily to Sean Alexander. Here he hits the receiver on still just a short route to keeping everything underneath, very safe, and letting the guys try to run and make yardage after the catch.
Ball is on the 44. Alabama driving with the football. No score as we're under a half-minute to go in the first quarter of play. Put a man in motion, and Zhao rolls down the line. This time Tennessee plays it beautifully. They drop Sean Alexander in his tracks. That was Eric Westmoreland coming off the edge. So they brought the linebacker, Andy, and it worked.
Well, they brought him right into the play. A good play call and a nice job by Westmoreland to get into the backfield and making a sure tackle. Maybe a bust for Alabama, not blocking the linebacker, but a good play by Westmoreland nonetheless.
It'll be 2nd down and 11 as the quarter ends. So here in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, on a glorious October day, we've got a dandy working. End of the quarter, there's no score between Alabama and Tennessee.
The run for the title is on.
See you later. Touchdown.
It's college football season, and we've got your Big 12 excitement right here.
Absolutely sensational. Oh, my goodness. Right off the side. He got it. Touchdown.
College football is definitely back.
Cinemax is looking great.
Oh, absolutely.
And now there's more of it with Multimax from Cinemax.
Sounds great.
4 different movie channels. It all starts with Cinemax.
Got a different movie every night at 8.
But if you want an alternative, there's more Max. Want to see stuff blowing up? There's Action Max. And if you want suspense,
I love thriller movies.
There's Thriller Max. 4 different channels for the movie fans. It's Multimax from Cinemax.
Ian Wright and Justine Shapiro have the coolest jobs on the planet.
Oh, yeah. This is the way you travel.
Want to go along? Enter the Lonely Planet Take a Fan to Work sweepstakes and you could. Log on to TravelChannel.com and Ian or Justine could be taking you on their next adventure.
Definitely have to check this out.
Plus, cast your vote for your favorite Lonely Planet episode, and starting August 23rd, we'll air your top picks. Break away with the Lonely Planet Take a Fan to Work sweepstakes, only at the Travel Channel and TravelChannel.com.
All right, we get set to move to quarter number 2 at Bryant-Denny Stadium. We're told now the official attendance today is 86,000. And you know what? That makes it the largest crowd ever to see a football game in the state of Alabama. So a record-setting day here in Tuscaloosa.
As I mentioned earlier, Bob, I'm sure there's a lot of people still outside the stadium trying to find a way to get in.
Sure they are. Trying to say, is it worth it? Is it worth it? $200 or 175, whatever the tickets are out there. Quarter number 2 set to begin. Alabama with the football, looking at a 2nd and 11. Sean Alexander, by the way, on our figures has 35 yards rushing and 20 yards receiving. So he's on target for another 100-yard game.
It's a typical quarter for Sean Alexander.
Actually, he's the last man to rush for 100 yards in a game against Tennessee. Last year he did it. No one has done it since. Vols giving up only 62 yards on average per game. They put a man in motion, and Zhao drops back, gets some pressure, fires complete to Millens. Millens down the sidelines, picking up good yardage deep into Tennessee territory before he's dropped by Dwayne Goodrich.
I think Millens showed a burst of quickness after that catch. A nice little quick move. You see a safe play here. Zhao looks one way, comes back. It's man coverage on that side. Millens makes a catch and just makes a quick move to gain about 15 more yards. He showed a lot of speed on that. Goodrich played a little soft, came up. You see Millens just turning it on down the sideline. A heck of a play for Alabama and Millens.
Alexander in the backfield, 2 wideouts at the bottom of your screen, and they put a man in motion this direction. They give it to Alexander, and he is dropped like a rock. Raynoch Thompson. Well, there's some speed for you. Raynoch probably, Andy, is as fast as Sean Alexander.
Probably is. I'm really impressed him coming off surgery during the open week, a hernia surgery, to be back on the field going full speed and playing with the reckless abandon. That's a huge play. Tennessee's linebackers have to have a big day, as we said in the opening, to help try to contain Alexander's. A lot of that falls on the shoulders of the linebackers, and they've come through for a few big plays already today.
So it's 2nd down and 10 to go with the ball at the Tennessee 26-yard line. Here is Zhao with time, firing, incomplete, bounced 3 times off the receiver, Terry Jones. The pass was there, Jones just couldn't hang on to it.
I'll tell you, I like what Alabama's their thought process right now. Yeah, Alabama's good up front and they can protect, but they're taking the pressure off the offensive line and actually off of Andrew Zhao, letting him throw the short stuff underneath, trying to take what Tennessee's given, because Tennessee's taking away the deeper routes. That time it should have been another big play for Alabama, just a drop ball, kept that from being another 1st down.
Ball at the 26-yard line, where it becomes 3rd and 10 for Alabama. Tennessee defensively trying to dig in against the Tide. Tide moving with the football. It all started after a 4th down. Tennessee offside, giving Alabama a 1st. Here comes a touchdown. Sean Alexander gets a few more votes for the Heisman.
I thought that was an easy one. Tennessee came with a full blitz. Zhao did a nice job of reading it and finding an open guy, and Tennessee had to make a mistake. There's one of the linebackers or the safety, somebody has assigned Sean Alexander. I promise you, there's no scheme for Tennessee in any blitz where they're going to leave Alexander open. Somebody had to make a mental mistake and didn't cover. Nobody was covering Alexander, and that's the one guy on the field that you have to cover.
Lugner will attempt the extra point. It's up, it's good, and Alabama draws first blood. It's 7-0 Crimson Tide on what appeared to be, as Andy pointed out, a serious defensive mistake by someone. on Tennessee's side, leaving Alexander free to run. You knew at the 15-yard line he was going to score. There was no question about it. The score comes with 13:55 remaining in the first half of play. It is a 99-yard drive, just exactly what they did against Ole Miss last week, although Tennessee had stopped it.
Hi, I'm Kenny Mayne along with Dan Patrick, who will now speak.
Don't miss SportsCenter on ESPN and Comcast Cable.
If I had one of those TV rating boxes on my television, the #1 show in the country would be 11 p.m. SportsCenter. Okay, maybe it won't hit #1, but it'll definitely give Dharma and Greg a run for their money.
So I'm doing a little channel surfing, and I land on Animal Planet.
You don't plan on watching this channel. Just happens to you.
It's got action, adventure, drama, harmony with an animal twist. Now that's big. It's what everyone's going to be talking about tomorrow around the watering hole. They've got great shows like The Crocodile Hunter. You watch it once and it pulls you in. On Animal Planet, anything can happen.
If the sun is bad for me, why do I look so good with a tan?
I understand male pattern baldness. I just can't find the pattern.
How can I tell my daughter I've been there when obviously I haven't? Health is on the way. From the people who bring you Discovery comes a new TV channel and revolutionary website devoted to your health. Discovery Health Channel at discoveryhealth.com.
All right, we're set for the kickoff. The Alabama drive, 14 plays, covered 99 yards. Of course, Tennessee had stopped them, but the penalty on the punt gave them new life, and they took advantage with Sean Alexander scoring his 18th touchdown. Tennessee takes it at the goal line. Coming out of there with it is Leonard Scott looking for the wall. It's not there, but he's got enough speed to turn something into a pretty good play. Lane Bearden made the stop. Covers 34 yards on what probably shouldn't have been more than 10 or 15, but that's what speed will do for you, and he's one of the fastest men in America. So Tennessee will put it in play on the 33.
You said speed can make up for a lot of missed blocks and things like that. Alabama had it blocked, clogged up in the middle. Scott just saw the opening from the outside and made a big play out of it.
A little closer to the 34-yard line, so good return. Tennessee now needs to get something going offensively, as they have just seen Alabama drive 99 yards on them. They give it to Jamal, and he's dropped in the backfield. Right side of the line just collapsed all over him, including linebacker Miguel Merritt leading the way, and Jamal could not gain an inch, and the Vols have another player down. Looks like Chad Clifton, who is returning to the lineup after some elbow surgery, and they have already lost Sean Ellis, although Ellis appears to have just a strained knee and could be back in action here, but Clifton seems to be in some pain right now. Trainer Mike Rollo is out there working with him. Veteran, one of the captains of the team. And if he cannot return to action, Reggie Coleman would be the man who would replace him. While they work on him, we'll take a little break here in Alabama by telling you the score is Alabama 7, the Vols nothing, 13:28 to go in the half.
Somewhere closer than you might think, there's a place that's still so good and clean and fresh. A place where the memories are created every day. Call 1-800-ALABAMA and find out why Alabama is what you love about the South.
You know, Archie, thousands of people throughout the South choose Osmose pressure-treated pine from Great Southern Wood.
That's right, Jimmy. That yellow tag means it has a lifetime guarantee. Then it comes to you clean and straight.
Exactly. Then why haven't we sold a single T-shirt? I I mean, these dadgum things are good looking.
It's a disease, Jimmy. So remember, there is a difference. If it doesn't say Osmos on the yellow tag, believe me, you don't want it.
It's time, classic time. This week in Black College Life, visit cities and classics all throughout the season. Get ready for non-stop excitement with the Ramsey Tour from game day broadcasts on Sundays at 3 p.m. The weekly magazine show with tailgaters and pre-game spectaculars on Friday at 6 p.m. The best games, the best bands, and definitely the best fans. This is Chuck Bosch. Check us out, because we'll be checking you out in an in-dome somewhere near.
Welcome back to Bryant-Denny Stadium. Largest crowd ever to see a football game in the state of Alabama. Let's go down to Terrence Cleveland on the sidelines.
Guys, Chad Clifton injured the same elbow he had injured previously. He hyperextended it again. I've talked with Dr. Bill Yeomans, the team orthopedic surgeon. He should be able to return to today's football game. Back upstairs.
Good, thank you, Terrence. Tennessee goes into the shotgun. T. Martin standing up, getting pressure, gives it out to Jamal Lewis. Can't do anything with it. Stumbling and falling, but Rashid was all over him to make sure he did go down. Good idea, just didn't work.
Yeah, not a bad play call, just a nice play by Rashid. Tennessee, you know, in second and long situation is not a bad time to run a screen play. They just got to get the guys blocked. Rashid does a nice job getting off the block and making the tackle.
Cozy Coleman didn't get there quite in time. So Tennessee looks at a big 3rd and 11. Trailing Alabama 7-0. T. Martin, who is from Alabama, of course, at quarterback out of the gun. Going to be hit from behind. Reggie Grimes, who is from Tennessee, made the stop along with Kenny Smith. And David Leverton will have to come on as the Alabama team has got the crowd in a frenzy over the defensive play right now. Freddie Millens will drop back into receiving position. Alabama 2 sacks so far, Tennessee none. Tennessee the more experienced defensive team. Here's Leverton's kick. It's high, and Millens will signal for an ask. Got a fair catch at the 25-yard line. Actually, probably could have picked up a few yards, but probably also made a good decision, because eventually he would have been racked by 3 balls who were coming down in his face. So Alabama turns right back on offense right now as we take a little break here. At 12:01 to go in the first half of play in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. The Tide 7, the Vols nothing. 41 yards on the punt.
You know, Archie, thousands of people throughout the South choose Osmos pressure-treated pine from Great Southern Wood.
That's right, Jimmy. That yellow tag means it has a lifetime guarantee. Then it comes to you clean and straight.
Exactly. Then why haven't we sold a single T-shirt? I mean, these dadgum things are good looking.
It's a disease, Jimmy. So remember, there is a difference. If it doesn't say Osmos on the yellow tag, believe me, you don't want it.
High-performance lubricants, it doesn't get much higher.
Contact your local distributor for more information on Conoco's HydroClear lubricants.
All right, we're set to resume action in Alabama with the Tide leading the Vols 7-0. And in the past few minutes, it's been pretty well dominated by Alabama. Here's Zhao giving off. Not much this time, as Sean Alexander is pretty well dropped in his tracks. Tennessee played that one very well. Darwin Walker, number 58, is the man you saw at the bottom of the pile there. 2nd down and 10, so he gets nothing. Westmoreland was also in on it, and Westmoreland is down the 3rd ball to go down, and we're still pretty early in the first half. We've still got 11:49 to go. Sean Ellis, Chad Clifton have already come out with some injuries, and this seems to be a knee injury that they're working on right down there now with Westmoreland. And without Westmoreland, frankly, I don't know what you do, because there's no one behind him with any experience to speak of.
Well, we talked earlier about Tennessee's depth and how that can be an advantage, but not when you have this many guys hurt this early, and especially the key players that are getting hurt. All the three of the guys that have been hurt so far are key players on both sides of the balls and on the ball. And not only that, they're also leaders on the field. So Tennessee not only are losing just guys, they're losing key guys.
By the way, Alexander has tied Bobby Humphreys for carries, 615. I guess Anthony Sessions would come in right here, Andy, and he's played a grand total of, what, maybe 15 plays this year. Somewhere in that neighborhood. Westmoreland has had a tremendous first half of play. He's been probably the most productive defensive player on the field. And now he's down.
This is a case where Sessions has to come in, and it's, you know, as a backup, you have to be ready to play at any time and be ready when your number's called to come in and step in and get the job done. And now it's up to him to come in and fill the shoes, although, you know, even as a backup, you hate to see the guy in front of you get hurt. You can't worry about that. You got to go in the game and make things happen and be the player that you're trying to be another Westmoreland, try to make the plays that he would make.
Well, he's coming off favoring a knee, and Terrence will check on that, but that doesn't look real good right now. So the youngster Anthony Sessions is in there replacing the veteran and very talented Eric Westmoreland. It's 2nd down and 10 to go for Alabama. Zhao with time throws in the middle, complete at the 35-yard line to Freddie Millens, who's been pretty much running free all day. Mickey Allen from free safety made the stop that time.
Well, again, Alabama's not going to get, it looks like they don't want Zhao to be under pressure and feel the heat. Tennessee's getting pretty good pressure, but he's getting rid of the ball so quickly, it's not having a chance to get to him. And it's not a bad idea by Alabama. It's working so far. They're getting positive yards. Now, because that play didn't get a lot, now it turns into a 3rd and long. Maybe they'll have to hold it and get it downfield. Maybe Tennessee Gus can have a chance to get there, but don't be surprised to see him throw short again and try to let a guy run with it.
They need 6 for a 1st down. Zhao gets away from one wave and not the second, and it is incomplete. Alabama wanted interference. It could just as well have been interference defensively on Alabama, because Andre Lott looked like he might have had the edge in getting the football.
Well, it looked like he stepped in front, and then again we go back to it was a longer situation as far as yardage goes. Alabama had to take a longer drop, longer routes, and you see Sean Ellis back in the game getting a chance to get in and get some pressure. And then
big stop for Tennessee.
It was a big stop because Alabama had gotten the momentum, shut Tennessee down on offense, and then it was key for Tennessee's defense to come in and do the same.
Here's Patrick Morgan set to punt, Eric Parker to receive. It's a low kick, and not a very good one. It's going to go out of bounds at the 41-yard line. I'm keeping an eye on the bench because they're still working on Westmoreland, and we'll get a report on that shortly. That was a punt of only 30 yards. Let's break. 10:38 to go in the first half of play in Tuscaloosa. It is Alabama 7, Tennessee nothing.
Over 35,000 children are reported abused in Alabama each year. One is reported abused every 20 minutes. Kids, you just can't beat them. Think about it. A message from the Alabama Council on Child Abuse.
How does cable TV make education come alive for our children? What are 41 million students getting from cable's commercial-free educational television? Ways that make geography and history come to life. Electronic field trips all over the world. And cable TV downloads from the internet 50 to 100 times faster than a phone line. And it's free. If all this has caught your attention, just think what it does for a 9-year-old. Cable TV, wired to the future.
Hi there. You know, TV can inform, educate, and entertain, but not everything is appropriate for kids. Here's something you can do to take charge of your TV.
To make informed choices about what programs are right for your children, use the TV ratings. The ratings give you information about the content of a show and whether it's appropriate for certain ages. The ratings can help you make smart viewing choices and use the family TV wisely.
Brought to you by the National PTA and the cable television industry.
All right, back for more action here in Tuscaloosa. Tennessee trailing Alabama, with the ball in good field position for Tennessee at their own 40. And Chad Clifton has returned to the lineup for Tennessee at left tackle. Westmoreland is standing. Maybe that's a good sign, but he's standing on the sidelines right now. Tennessee's offense needs right here desperately to get something going. Here they turn it upfield and get to about the 45. Pretty good pickup on first down of 5 yards.
We're right, Bob. This is a big series for Tennessee's on offense. The defense for Tennessee did a nice job shutting Alabama down, kind of stopped the momentum a little bit, gave the ball back to Tennessee. The offense in good field position. Now we need to make something happen. You see Henry doing a nice job sticking his nose in there and get some positive yardage on first down. Nice play on first down.
Travis Henry at tailback, replacing Jamal Lewis here. With 10 minutes to go in the first half of play. Tennessee down 7-0 to the Tide. Looking at a 2nd and 5 at their own 45. And T's got time, and he fires. It's going to be ruled complete. Official fell down trying to get to the ball to make the spot, but Dante Stallworth did hang on. Pass was low. Good play by Stallworth to bring it in. Dante's season numbers. He's getting a little bit better. At least he's getting a little more confident, I think, in each ball game now. And the ball coaches and T. Martin are getting a little more confident in him, too.
And that's a big key is him having confidence, is T. Martin having confidence in him.
First down and 10 to go in Alabama territory. Tennessee down 7-0 and trying to drive. And T got hit just as he turned it loose. And almost intercepted by Alabama. Let's go down on the sidelines to Terrence Cleveland. Terrence?
The update on Eric Westmoreland is a bruise. Dr. Bill Yeoman said he thinks he can go. They're going to ice it and evaluate it. Hopefully he'll be able to return back upstairs.
Well, that is good news. Even if he's not 100%, he's better than most anyone they could put in there right now, because he is a very, very good player, and he's having a great game, or was until that point. Tennessee looking at a 2nd and 10. After the incomplete pass, Travis Henry spins for maybe 3 before Salim Rashid made the stop for Alabama. Alabama 7-0. Tennessee came into this one favored by 3 points. They give him 2 yards, so it becomes 3rd down and 8 at the 42-yard line of Alabama. Here comes another big down for Tennessee, as they try to move downfield and get into the end zone. They've got 5 wideouts. 4 wideouts. 3 at the bottom, 1 at the top of your screen. And there's movement. Was it Tennessee? Did Alabama jump and make contact? I think Alabama jumped and made contact.
I think you're right, Bob. That's a huge penalty. That turns a 3rd and 8 into a
Contact by the defense. 5 yards.
Big mistake by Alabama. Now it's up to Tennessee to take advantage of that, make them pay for their mistakes that they do make. Alabama made Tennessee pay for the mistake they made earlier. Let's see if Tennessee can return the favor.
Will they go with that same formation? It looks like they're going to. It's not a short yardage situation. Of course, you can run that variation off of this, but not likely. T. Martin going to draw and get it, and a lot more. Great call. Great call. Ran that same play against Georgia. T. Martin and Kelf Bailey, however, the secondary had to make the stop. So Randy Sanders, who's about 15 yards to our left, made a good call there.
Big play for Tennessee's offense. As you said, a great call. Tennessee ran it last week for a touchdown against Georgia. T. Martin's a weapon. He can be a weapon using his legs. And Tennessee's starting to take advantage of it last week against Georgia, now today against Alabama. Great run by T. Nice job getting upfield, getting the first down, and getting all they can get.
T. Martin hands off to Travis Henry, and he drives the pile to about the 15-yard line. Travis running with some authority there. Tony Dixon, free safety, made the stop for the Tide. They put it a little bit short. Let's call it the 16-yard line. Just shy of the 15. Will become second down and right at 7 to go for a first. They're within field goal range, but that's not what Tennessee's thinking right now. Straight eye backfield. 2 receivers set. One comes in motion. They pitch it back to Travis Henry. He turns it upfield. He did a great job running inside the 10 to the 9-yard line.
Actually, in the game right now, Tennessee has 3 tackles in the game. One of the tackles is lined up in what would be the tight end position. You see to the right of the screen. Oh, excuse me, no, they don't. That's a guy in motion. But anyway, still a power formation. Tennessee running the sweep, getting outside, and Travis Henry does a nice job lowering his shoulders as he did earlier, and getting close to the first down.
Didn't get a great spot. They pull it back to the 10-yard line, make it 3rd and 1. They give it to Travis again, and I think he's got it, but I'm not 100% sure. We'll have to wait until they unstack it. We may have a measurement on it. If so, are you in a situation where you go for it? They pulled it back again. Tennessee's got 2 horrendous spots right here in a row.
It's still going to be close. That's a tough call. I mean, that's...
They spotted the ball and then picked it up and pulled it back.
Well, that's why Coach Former is the head coach. He gets paid to make those kind of decisions. That's a tough call. I mean, you can't say it's a guaranteed 3 points, but you're well within field goal range, and more than likely will get the field goal.
Well, it was
need the touchdown as well.
He missed it the length of however much he pulled it back. It's about 6 inches. What do you do right here?
Well, if you go, I'd be surprised if Tennessee does anything other than the quarterback sneak. But again, against Florida, Tennessee was in this same type situation, ran a play action naked, and T. Martin got it in the end zone.
4th down and inches to go for Tennessee. Alabama crowd roaring, trying to distract the ball offense. T. Martin gives it off to Jamal, and he jumps over everybody, and if they give him a decent spot, he's got it.
I think he's got it easily this time, Bobby. He was in the air for at least 2 yards before he came down.
I think they made the right call. Tennessee needed something positive to happen right here other than a field goal. Constant and Dixon were the key tacklers on that one, but Jamal would not be denied.
I don't think you would be wrong to go for the field goal there, but obviously the way it turned out, you're not wrong to go for it either. It's really it's just a feel, I guess, where the head coach has a feeling that you're going to get it, then you go for it.
Travis Henry is back in at tailback. They give it off to Travis, and he's dancing, and not a whole lot there. We got a little scuffling going on the side, but apparently no flags. Marvin Constant made the stop for Alabama. Tennessee is trailing in this ball game 7-0. Alabama drove 99 yards. They had been stopped, punted the football, but Tennessee lined up in the neutral zone. On the punt, it gave them a first down, and they went on down to score.
This drive, Tennessee's relying primarily on the run. They had pretty good field position. T. Martin had 1 throw for the first down, and the rest of it's been pretty much on the ground.
It's 2nd down and 5. Alabama packs everybody in tight. Tennessee's got a double tight end situation, and T. Martin may have a touchdown. He does. Great call. Neil Johnson with a great clear-out block.
Nice job. Actually, T. Martin had 2 choices there for the touchdown. He could have flipped it to Johnson quickly. He made the smart decision because he knew he saw the corner. He had the corner. He knows he's had enough speed to get there. So a great decision by T. Although he had 2 options, you want to take the safest one, and that is the safest one. Keep it and get it in there. Nice drive by Tennessee. Defense gave Tennessee position, good field position, and the offense took advantage of it.
Benson Scott will hold, and Alex Walls will kick and try to tie it, and he does. So we've got a brand new one in Tuscaloosa. 86,869, the largest crowd to ever see a football game in the state of Alabama, and they're seeing a dandy. It's 7-7 with 5:14 to go in the first half.
CSS, Monday night is volunteer night, with the man whose career record ranks first among active NCAA head coaches, the Phil Fulmer Show. Tennessee football. Can T. Martin and the rest of the Vols pull off another national championship? Watch CSS and find out. And UT Classics. Tennessee football too good to see only once. CSS, your sports authority in the Southeast.
Only one network delivers more golf than anywhere else.
The Golf Channel brings you everything you want to know, watch, and enjoy from past and present in the world of golf.
More live call-in golf chat.
How about for an old stiff guy? Very fitting.
And instruction with top teaching professionals.
All right, Rob. That's a very common problem.
More up-to-the-minute nightly golf news, worldwide tournaments, plus early round coverage of premier PGA Tour events.
And much more. The Golf Channel. More golf.
If you don't have time to watch, log on to grtv.com. It's the store that's always open. When you want to find out more, bookmark grtv.com. Still deciding? Shop at your convenience 24 hours a day at grtv.com. Did you forget the 800 number? Click twice on grtv.com. Simply convenient. On demand. grtv.com.
The excitement of SWAC football is here. There is nothing better than a battle in the SWAC. The fans, and the football. SWAC football is the best. Don't miss SWAC football. It's the bright young stars of the future delivering the best in college football action today. Stay tuned to this SWAC television network station, the home of classic SWAC football.
Stories you haven't heard from the network that knows Hollywood best. The E! True Hollywood Story. Every night at 9, only on E!
All right, there's the kickoff. It's taken by Freddie Millens, and he's got room, and he's still running. Tennessee drags him down. David Leverton, the kicker, right in front of the Tennessee bench. And we got some tempers flaring out there. I don't know if there's a flag down in that crowd anywhere or not. I don't see one. Apparently not. 33 yards return.
Coach Fulmer trying to keep everybody cool on the sidelines.
That drive for Tennessee was 60 yards, 11 plays, and I think all of it, Andy, on the ground except one play, right?
I think so. They had the one completion to Stallworth, had the big quarterback draw, the big offsides by Alabama, but the majority, all of it was on the ground except for just a few yards of it.
All right, Alabama starts out in good position on the 35-yard line where it'll be first down and 10 to go. Let's see if Tennessee's defense was inspired by the offensive drive. It's John Alexander trying to weave his way through there, and Dominic Stevenson made the stop. He did get about 3 yards on the play. 7-7, the Vols in the tie at 4 minutes and 40 seconds and the clock running to go in the first half of play.
See, Alexander, I think one of the keys for him, not only is he is strong and powerful, but he is quick, and he has such, he's kind of shifty.
Kind of hides behind the offense, too.
He's very nifty and very, I guess you can say, sly with the way he uses his blocks.
Second down and 7. He did get 3, and it's Sal out of the shotgun with time to throw. Millens catches first down or close to it. Anthony Sessions made the stop. He's in for the injured Westmoreland.
Again, Alabama just going to the short stuff. Zal standing in the pocket, gets the snap, makes a quick read, and comes down quickly, actually to the short routes, and again it worked again for him.
He's had plenty of time all day to throw. He has not been sacked one time. fact, he hadn't even pressured a whole lot.
Not a lot. When you get rid of it that quickly, it's tough to get back there.
Zhao gives it off this time to Alexander, and he's still fighting. He's still fighting and rolling, and they finally drag him down, and there goes 2 more votes for the Heisman. Darwin Walker caught him from behind, defensive tackle. To be honest with you, I didn't think he could run on Tennessee this way.
You see at least three missed tackles, 4 missed tackles there. And, you know, that's why he's a Heisman candidate. He's hard to bring down. As we said just a few seconds ago, he's very shifty. You've got to make very, very sure tackles on him. If you don't, he's going to break every one of them.
Ball is on the 35-yard line of Tennessee. First down and 10 to go for Alabama. We're 7-7. Alexander has not been stopped. This time he has. That's only the second time they've dropped him for minus yardage today. John Henderson, big red shirt freshman, dropped him.
Notice on the big run Alexander had just a second ago, Zhao was very, very slow to get up, and he's still limping quite noticeably on, I can't tell which leg, but he's not moving around too well. You see Tennessee with a big stop there. Got to have more of that if you expect it to shut Alexander down.
So he lost 2. It becomes second down and 12 at the 37-yard line of Tennessee. Snap goes back to Zhao. Shotgun. He got hit immediately and threw it awry. He did so because Will Overstreet really creamed him, and he's not getting up.
He's still down. I noticed the play before. He was very, very slow to get up. I don't know if this is something totally different or not, but again, Tennessee finally got some pressure on Zhao. One of the reasons is that he didn't have a chance to find a short or a quick target, a quick receiver. Everything else was downfield. It was a second long situation, so the routes had to be longer. I think if we can keep, you know, obviously that's something that you know, is true of any defense. Try to keep them in 3rd and long. That's not something new, but we can get pressure on Zhao, I think, or whoever's going to be the Alabama quarterback, if we can keep from letting them throw the very, very quick stuff.
It was a very clean hit by Overstreet, but a very hard one, and it compounds, I think, what Andy pointed out, a previous injury on a couple of plays back. And he's getting up now, and he will have to come out. Tyler Watts will come in at least for a play or 2.
I think the Alabama coaches knew something was up because Tyler Watson started throwing and warming up a couple of plays ago. Trying to see here if anything happened. It's hard to tell if anything happened on that play, but perhaps it was something that happened, as you said, a couple of plays before.
So Tyler Watts will look at a 3rd and 12 for his Tide. Tennessee trying to urge their fans in the end zone area to do some cheering, and they respond. Tennessee got about 10,000 here. All right, Tyler Watts goes into a shotgun. He's going to throw. At least try to. He can't. He's down. Raynoch Thompson was there. Darwin Walker. Those 2 primarily, Raynoch and Darwin. So big defensive stand for Tennessee.
A big play. There's the heat. Again, Alabama had to get the ball downfield to get the first down. A long drop, long time for the quarterback to hold it. And Tennessee's going to get the pressure if we can keep them in long situations. That's no secret. But that's the key. That's why Alabama's been throwing things so quickly all day long. They know Tennessee can get pressure, and they try to take the pressure off the quarterback and off the offensive line by throwing the quick stuff.
Patrick Morgan will be in punt formation. I don't think they try anything at this stage of the ball game, but 1:29 to go. Andy, who knows? Deion Grant is back, and they take a delay of game. The official taking a little time and spotting the ball, and now he's asking, I guess, Tennessee if they want that delay or just leave it right where it is, and they'll take the 5-yard step off.
Delay game on offense, 5 yards, still 4th down.
A little confusion on the sideline. Tennessee had one coach signaling for the players to decline it. Coach Formers quickly stepped in and pointed that he wanted it. There was a little bit of confusion there.
Puts Morgan back on his 40-yard line, where he'll receive the snap, and Deion Grant is standing back at his 10-yard line. It's a mile high. Dion just signals and then gets away from it. And it's into the end zone. Alabama had a chance to down it on the 1-foot line, but couldn't hang on to it. It goes on into the end zone.
Tennessee caught a break right there. Actually, the Alabama guys got a little bit greedy. They had 2 guys down that could have made. They actually caught it in the air. They let it take a hop, try to get it inside the 1 instead of on the 2 or 3. You know, got a little bit greedy, and it cost them.
45-yard punt, but brought back out to the 20. So Tennessee's got 1:16 to go. We're in a 7-7 game. What do you do, Andy? Do you sit on it, or?
I think you come out aggressive and you come out, try to get the ball down the field, try to move it, and not necessarily throwing the ball down the field. I think you come out and try to make something happen early. And then if you start getting, if you get bogged down before you get to midfield, or if the clock starts running out, then you can, you know, be conservative and let the half run out. But I think to start out, you're thinking score points.
1:16 in which to do something here. Tennessee has thrown quite a bit less than I expected.
Well, I'm the same way. I thought they would open it up a lot and move it and throw it around at all parts of the field. But the last series, Tennessee came out and only had 1 pass and drove it down and got their only touchdown of the day. So, you know, you have to make adjustments as the game goes on. I don't know what the game plan was coming in, but, you know, the game plan obviously against Georgia was to move it around, move T around, spread it around, get the ball to a lot of different guys. Today, I would assume it was pretty close to the same. But as the game unfolds, you kind of have to make adjustments and see what's working. In the last series, Tennessee just ran it down Alabama's throat.
Is Joey Matthews, he's warming up. I don't know exactly if T is all right or not. But right down in front of the bench, Joey Matthews is taking some quick snaps from center, and he may go out there. He is going out there. So we'll have to find out if T is indeed injured.
Now we'll see if this changes the strategy. This may turn into more of a conservative type approach with a new quarterback in the game.
I would think so. Deep in their own territory, and they do get it off to Travis Henry, and he gets up to about, Jamal Lewis, correction, he gets up to about the 24-yard line before he is stopped, and the clock is running with 1:05 to go. Kelf Bailey made the stop for Alabama. It's on the 24-yard line. T. Martin is on the sideline. Joey Matthews is in at quarterback. We've gone under a minute, and Tennessee is obviously going to be very conservative right here with the relatively inexperienced Matthews at cornerback, or at least you think they would be. He pitches. Jamal trying to get inside, sweeping and then cutting it up inside. Nothing there. Tony Dixon made the stop as the clock continues to run with 23 seconds to go, and timeout is going to be called.
You know, on the flip side of that, you know, you're thinking Tennessee's going to be conservative, and probably Alabama's thinking along the same lines. This may be a chance to let Matthews throw one deep, and if it does get intercepted, obviously you don't want to throw an interception, but it could be an opportunity to take a shot at the play downfield, make a big play happen.
Alabama called the timeout, hoping to get the ball back, I guess, for one play, maybe before the intermission, because we've still got 22 seconds to go, and this is a third down situation, and Tennessee has to make 6 to keep the clock moving and to keep the chains moving. The question right now is what's wrong with T. Martin, and I'm sure our man Terrence Cleveland is working on that aspect of it. On the calf area there.
Well, T ran into the huddle after when Tennessee got the ball back and then came out. You know, maybe it's a cramp.
I was going to say, Andy, that looks like
because he was on the field.
Cramp area. Maybe it just tightened up on him, and they're trying to loosen that up.
He was actually on the field in the huddle, and then came out of the huddle and went to the sideline. So I would assume it's a cramp, but then again, I don't know.
7-7 seconds to go in the first half of play. Joey Matthews is going to throw the thing, and he's got a man down here. Incomplete. shot at it.
I think that's a good call. I think it's a chance, you know, to throw one downfield, take a shot at a big play, see if it happens. I actually thought Wilson got on the pump fake. I thought Wilson got chucked downfield by the defensive back, but still, he, you know, had a
DB in the head.
If Matthews could have got out maybe a yard longer, he would have had a chance to make the catch. But I think it's a good decision, good play call. Take a shot at it, and relatively a safe play.
Gives Alabama 15 seconds to work with, though, and David Leverton will be punting. He got hit, he got knocked down, he'll get a flag. So if anything happens on this one, Tennessee can bring it back. And right now, some pretty good things are happening on it. Let's go down, as we await the penalty ruling, let's go down on the field to Terrence Cleveland. Terrence?
Guys, I talked with the team physician, Dr. Bill Yeomans. T. Martin seems to have a bruised knee. It doesn't seem to be serious. They're going to evaluate it at halftime. Hopefully he'll be able to go in the second half. Back up to you.
Okay, thanks a lot, Terrence. Bruised knee.
Well, again, another one of Tennessee's, obviously one of their key players having an injury, but it sounds like it may not be too serious. While our key guys are getting hurt, it's not too serious. So that if there's a bright side to this.
Running into the kicker, penalty against the defense. Repeat, fourth down.
You know, if there's a bright side, is that they're not, doesn't seem like they're too serious of injury so far.
Well, the crowd moans a little bit, but actually it doesn't hurt them at all. It's a 5-yard, so it doesn't pick up the first down. Had it been roughing the kicker, it would have been 15 and a first down. So Tennessee will still have to punt the football.
Well, actually, with 2 seconds ago, I think Tennessee will just take the snap and take a knee, and Matthews will take the snap, hold it for a second, and then go down just to run the clock out with only 2 seconds to go.
7-7. Well, Andy, this is typical old-time Bear Bryant, General Neyland type Alabama football, isn't it?
I'll tell you what, it seems like it's really amazing. It doesn't really matter what kind of team Tennessee has or what kind of team Alabama has, whether they're a high scoring or you name it. It always seems like it turns into this type of game in this Tennessee and Alabama. It's going to be a struggle from start to finish and usually a low scoring game. Tennessee's jumped on the last few years, but this is a classic Tennessee-Alabama football game.
We talked at the beginning of the show about offensive, defensive lines, about Jamal Lewis, Sean Alexander, about Andrew Zhao and T. Martin, and it may come down to, as we suggested, in the kicking game.
Tennessee's already had a huge mistake in the kicking game with the offsides penalty that gave Alabama new life on their touchdown drive.
Tennessee will take a knee and kill the 2 seconds, and there it is. So that's the end of the first half here in Tuscaloosa on a crisp October afternoon. The Tennessee Volunteers, the Alabama Crimson Tide, 7-7. Hang on, the second half should be a beauty.
Of driving a new car. Celebrate that feeling during the Ford authorized clearance with 0% financing or up to $2,000 cash back on every 99 Contour, Escort, and ZX2. $1,000 back on Taurus. Either way, it's practically in your driveway. That new car feeling is closer than you think during the Ford authorized clearance at your local Ford dealer.
How much does a dream cost? The dream of college for your child. The dream of being your own boss. The dream of retiring now. How much does a dream cost? It depends on how big you dream. Planning from First Tennessee. That's right, First Tennessee.
What can I do for you, Mr. Manning?
How should I invest my money?
What you need, my friend, is a game plan. Right here, baby. Right here. First, we're going to start with some mutual funds right up front. Then we're going to block taxes with an IRA. Catch them off guard. Then we're going to make an end run with some annuities. Maybe go long with some stocks. All the while keeping our eyes on early retirement. So you, my friend, and score! Oh, yeah, baby! Oh, mama! Woo!
I love investing with First Tennessee.
Woo!
In the last 12 months alone, Tennessee hospitals delivered almost $1 billion of unreimbursed care for Tennesseans who needed it but couldn't pay. Congress has now cut Medicare, to the point hospitals lose money when they treat Medicare patients. A recent study shows TennCare pays hospitals half what it costs to care for patients. Not a pretty picture, is it? We must take care of hospitals.
Here we go with another half of football in Tuscaloosa. David Leverton approaches the ball, gets the kick away, and it's nice and deep and into the end zone. And that's where Freddie Millens will lead it. Alabama will put it in play on the 20-yard line, first down and 10. Slight wind at David Leverton's back, but he got a lot of foot into that one. We've got a lot of question marks to be answered here about injured quarterbacks, and we'll see how things stack up in that department. Been some strange things happen in the first half. T. Martin out in the huddle and then came out of the huddle. Zal got hurt on a play, and then a couple of plays later, Will Overstreet hit him. He went out. And we've got Tyler Watts at quarterback. Pitch back to Sean Alexander. Hit by one man, got away, hit by another. Finally is driven down by Sean Ellis after a gain of about 4, maybe closer to 5.
That was a heck of a run right there by Alexander. That's happened several times tonight. You know, he stretches out. Tennessee does a nice job stretching that. Looks like there's nowhere to go. He finds just a small little crease and darts in it and makes something happen out of a play that Tennessee really looked like they had shut down. Just a nice, he stopped on the dime and cut back against the grain, and that's another reason why he's such a great player.
All right, Tyler Watts is at quarterback for Alabama. Andrew Zal not in there. Tennessee jumped in the middle and made contact. Were they drawn? Or was it offside? The official will tell us in just a second. Tennessee retreating, and they will get a 5-yard penalty. So not a good way to get the second half underway. There's T. He's getting on the bicycle. So we probably will see him in there, but right now Andrew Zal is not in there for Alabama.
To see T on the bicycle like that, I'm no medical expert by any stretch of the imagination, but that tells me that there's probably some sort of muscle that he's trying to keep loose and not letting it tighten up on him.
The give is to Justin McClintock, the fullback, and he is smothered by Ellis. Sean Ellis, also Dominic Stevenson had a piece of it. First fullback play we've seen tonight on the part of Alabama. 7-7 early in the second half of play. One of the great rivalries in college football. Alabama and Tennessee. The last time they met on this field was 69 years ago. Bobby Dodd was a member of the Tennessee team that year. And they have renewed the rivalry in Tuscaloosa. Tyler Watts at quarterback. The big gun behind him is Sean Alexander, who gets the call and gets racked up. Sean Alexander has very little success, and very few people do, running Andy right in the middle of Tennessee's line. They have to kind of slide outside if you're going to get much running room at all.
He didn't get much there, but I think he may have just squeaked enough for the first down. They're going to get the measurement. But a pretty good job up front by Tennessee to stuff it, and they're going to make it a close measurement.
Yeah. Alabama not thrilled with the spot on this one. Tennessee was not thrilled a couple of times in the first half, but nevertheless, you live with it. 13:03 to go in the third quarter of play. 7-7 ball game. The chains will be stretched. The official will give us the word. It's short by inches. Let's go down to Terrence Cleveland on the sideline. Terrence?
Guys, the update on T. Martin is a contusion to his left hamstring. It's not the knee. He's warming up now. Looks like he's going to be able to come back into the ball game. That's good news for Tennessee. Back upstairs.
Okay, great. Alabama is not going to gamble with the ball just inside their 30-yard line. Or at least they appear not to be in a gambling mood. They got Morgan back to punt and Parker back to receive for Tennessee. Tennessee doesn't have the rush on. It is a short kick. Parker's going to get away from it. Let it bounce. Alabama will down it at the 42-yard line. Tennessee starts out, Andy, in great field position here in the second half.
That's a great way to start the half out. Tennessee comes out on defense, shuts Alabama down, keeps them from getting the first down, even with the penalty. Tennessee had the offsides penalty and still stopped Alabama on 3 downs. and now the offense has got the ball in great field position. This is how Tennessee scored earlier. The defense gave Tennessee the ball in great field position, and Tennessee took advantage of it. See if we can do it now to start the second half. This will be a huge series here for the offense.
Punt was only 27 yards. T. Martin is in the game. And T hands off to his tailback, Jamal. He moves for a couple of yards, and that's about it. Kenny Smith made the stop for Alabama.
Great penetration that time by Smith. Lewis really didn't have a chance to make anything happen. He was actually lucky to gain anything. I think he maybe got a yard.
That's about it. Yeah.
But good must have been a bust up front. Somebody missed the block, but Smith got a great penetration and shut that play down and almost in the backfield.
Ball is on the 44-yard line. You always like to get 4 or 5 if possible on first down. Tennessee got only 1, which means 9 to go. Puts them in a rather precarious position right here. And they come on the blitz and they knock him down in the backfield. None untouched. Absolutely no one even laid a hand on Miguel Merritt.
I'll tell you what, Bob, that was awful close. I mean, you can't time it up any more perfect than that. That was very close to being offside by Merritt, but looking at the replay, it was very close, but he got in and made the play. Tennessee didn't have a chance to pick him up.
Quarterback sacks, Alabama with 4, Tennessee with only 1.
That last play, that may not even have been a pass play, but it counts as a sack because he got to Martin really as he got the ball.
Tennessee 3rd down and 12 after being in great field position. Now they face a real critical situation where they have to, you think, put it in the air, but they're not going to. They're going to run with it, and a big gain by Jamal Lewis.
That's 2 times today, Bob, so far that Tennessee's been in 3rd down situation, a crucial situation. They ran a quarterback draw earlier with T. Martin to pick up the first down. This time they come back with a running back draw and a huge play for Tennessee. Jamal Lewis finds a seam, makes something happen, lowers his shoulder, gets a huge first down for Tennessee's offense. That first down is even more impressive than the one earlier in the game with T. Martin, because that was 3rd and 3. This was long yardage.
And of course, as always, he punishes whoever tries to tackle him. First down and 10 to go. T drops back, wants to throw, got real pressure, got his man.
Beautiful throw.
Touchdown, Tennessee, David Martin.
That was a nice play action fake by T. He still took a nice shot on it, but I looked up the field and saw it about the 25-yard line. Martin had to step all the way, and T. Martin made a beautiful throw under heavy pressure. I can't stress how nice that throw was because of where it was, but the heat that he was under. He got hit as soon as he released it, so that's a great concentration on the part of T. Martin.
David Martin, of course, is 6'4", so he presents a great target. Here is Alex Walsh putting the ball through the uprights, and for the first time, Tennessee has the lead in this football game. It's Tennessee 14, Alabama 7. Will break at Tuscaloosa. Biggest crowd ever to see a football game in the state of Alabama, and they are seeing a dandy. We'll be back with more excitement on CSS after these words.
Hi, I'm Kenny Mayne along with Dan Patrick, who will now speak.
Don't miss SportsCenter on ESPN and Comcast Cable.
If I had one of those TV rating boxes on my television, the #1 show in the country would be 11 p.m. SportsCenter. Okay, maybe it won't hit #1, but it'll definitely give Dharma and Greg a run for their money.
Somewhere closer than you might think, there's a place that's still so good and clean and fresh. A place where the memories are created every day. Call 1-800-ALABAMA and find out why Alabama is what you love about the South.
Yeah, like Osmond Fresh Tree of Time from Great Southern Wood, the lumber with a lifetime guarantee. Jimmy, you just like her because she's wearing yellow. No, Coach, that gal's got talent and a winning smile to boot.
So remember, if it doesn't say Osmos on the yellow tag, believe me, you don't want it.
Set to kick off is David Leverton, Santonio Beard, and Freddie Milans are standing deep for Alabama. Crimson Tide has fallen behind. There you see Tennessee's scoring drive, 57 yards, 4 plays, took only a minute and a half, minute 33 to go, 43-yard touchdown pass from T. Martin to David Martin. And the Vols have their first lead of the ball game. Leverton, whose last one went deep into the end zone. It's a lot of foot into this one. It's going to go into the back of the end zone, and that's where Freddie Milans will down it. Alabama brings it out to the 20 to put it in play. Rock'em sock'em football game. We've had some injuries. Some players go down in this game, which is not unusual for Alabama and Tennessee. It's clean football, but it's always very, very hard hitting. Andrew Zhao is out of there for, or was on the last series for Alabama, and Tyler Watts the quarterback. And let's see if that's the situation. It is. Tyler Watts is coming back in. Westmoreland is still out of there for, we're checking to see, he may be back in the ball game right now. Number 42, if so, that's great news for the Vols. Here's Tyler Watts passing out in the flat off the hands of Sean Alexander and very nearly into the hands of a ball. John Ellis and Sean Alexander talking a bit. Andre Lott was streaking up from corner and almost made a big play there, Andy.
You're right, Bob. It almost turned into a huge play for Tennessee. That's something you don't see very often. Alexander just looked like he took his eye off the ball too quickly to look upfield to see where he's going to run with it, and it could have very easily turned into a huge play for Tennessee, but you don't see Sean Alexander dropping too many footballs.
Those of you with us on CSS are seeing one of the great classic duels in Southern football, and Alabama and Tennessee have been at it for many years. It's always been one of the nation's great events. Here's Watts being rushed, gets his pass away, incomplete. Antonio Carter was the intended receiver on the rerun. Let's take a look and see who really creamed Tyler Watts, but he was getting tremendous pressure. And that's something Tennessee didn't get a lot of in the first half of play. Very little pressure, as a matter of fact, on Zhao. Gave him some time to throw, and he hurt Tennessee with some short passes, especially in the first half of play. Carter goes out of there after dropping the ball. So it becomes a big, big down for the Tennessee D, the Alabama O. It's 3rd down and 10. Vols up 14-7 in Tuscaloosa. They've got Sean Alexander out here on the flank. They will be looking for him all the way, and the pass is complete to the tight end. It's short of a first down. Kerry Jones brings it down, but Tennessee hits him short of the first down marker.
I tell you, early in the game, Tennessee left Sean Alexander open. This time he went in motion to the short side of the field to the lone receiver, and Tennessee had a linebacker and Deion Grant running out to cover. Almost turned into a big play for Alabama. Left the middle of the field wide open, but White came up, made a sure tackle, nice hit. And as you said, Bob, a big 3rd down for Tennessee's defense. They came through once again.
Morgan set the punt, gets his kick away. His last few have not been very good, and this one is not really very good either. Actually, Kidd's getting some boos from his fans here. We'll take a break here as Tennessee gets set to go on offense in good field position with the score. The Volunteers 14, the Crimson Tide 7. 29 yards.
The run for the title is on.
See you later. Touchdown.
It's college football season, and we've got your Big 12 excitement right here.
Absolutely sensational. Oh, my goodness. Way across the side. He's got it. Touchdown.
College football is definitely back.
Good night.
It's time, classic time. This week at Black College Light, visit cities and classics all throughout the season. Get ready for non-stop excitement with the Ramsey Tour from game day broadcasts on Sundays at 3 p.m. The weekly magazine show with tailgaters and pre-game spectaculars on Friday at 6 p.m. The best games, the best bands, and definitely the best fans. This is Chuck Bosch. Check us out, because we'll be checking you out in an end zone somewhere near.
If you don't have time to watch, log on to grtv.com. It's the store that's always open. When you want to find out more, bookmark grtv.com. Still deciding? Shop at your convenience 24 hours a day at grtv.com. Did you forget the 800 number? Click twice on grtv.com. Simply convenient. On demand. grtv.com.
All right, we're set to resume play in Tuscaloosa. The Vols 14-7 over the Tide. Still a lot of time, 10-15 to go in the third quarter. T. Martin is back at quarterback. Jamal Lewis is at tailback. They give it to Jamal. He gets hit at the line. He fights for maybe a yard, and that's about it. Kenny Smith drags him down.
Hey, the last two first downs Tennessee had
also there.
The last two first downs to start the series, Tennessee's been actually lucky to get any yardage at all. Jamal Lewis has gotten to get a couple of yards on his own on the first plays of the last two series.
Actually, I think they're the same play too, Andy.
It looked very similar.
High formation backfield, two wide outs this time for Tennessee. T. Martin fakes into the hands of his fullback, wants to run and slide forward for a little positive yardage up to about the 50-yard line. Miguel Merritt smothers him there to make sure he stays down. T actually is starting into a slide, so it brings up another big down. They pull it to the 49-yard line.
Actually, not a bad decision by T. Martin. See some pressure coming. Nobody really open downfield. Just get what you can get and get down. Alabama just didn't bite on the fake. They didn't. You got to give credit where credit's due. Good play by Alabama's defense.
So it's 3rd and 7. Big down for Tennessee's offense. Alabama fakes a blitz, and they are coming on a blitz. And they blitz right into it and drop Tennessee short of a first. Marcus Spencer, strong safety, was there to make the stop for Alabama. So Tennessee was in tremendous field position and couldn't take advantage. David Leverton will have to come in and kick now.
Well, the draws worked a couple times for Tennessee today. This time, Alabama smells it, sniffs it out, and actually blitzed right into it.
Leverton is set to kick. Freddie Mylans is back to receive for Alabama, standing inside his 15-yard line. Leverton has gotten off some beauties here today, and he gets off another real high, deep kick that's going to hit at the 2-yard line and just kick into the end zone. So it'll be a Bama ball at the 20-yard line. Westmoreland has come back onto the field, or did in that last series, so that's some good news for the Vols. 53 yards on the kick, but brought out to the 20. We'll break right here in Tuscaloosa with the score Tennessee 14-7, 8 minutes 17 to go in the third quarter.
If you want to play for the Volunteers, you have to start early.
Up and up!
To be a champion, you need to think like they think.
Watch the reverse! Watch the reverse!
Train like they train.
A little help here! Bobby, dinner!
Eat what they eat. Training table. And you've got to have the right gear.
Take this one game at a time. Cut! Woo! Yes!
A commitment? You bet it is. But that's the dream.
Bobby, what about Bobby? You're the man.
Listen, I've traveled every road in this here land. I've been everywhere, man. Across the deserts bare, man. I breathe the mountain air, man. I've traveled, I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to Reno, Chicago, Fargo, Minnesota, Buffalo, Toronto, Winslow, Sarasota, Wichita, Tulsa, Ottawa, Oklahoma, Tampa, Panama, Mattawa, La Paloma, Pebble. I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere.
Citgo, you know me.
So it sounds like you've had a great career then.
I feel like I really have. I've been lucky. My whole career was just a great experience.
Any tough times along the way?
There have been a few scary moments. My senior year against Auburn, I hurt my knee badly, but thank goodness I went to St. Mary's Hospital. They really took good care of me. Good arm, sister.
Thank you, Peyton.
Slow it down a little bit.
Okay.
Go long one time, sister. Longer.
We think we think Andrew Zhao is coming back, he is. There he is, number 5. He has missed a couple of series here in the second half. Shaken up late in the first half, but he is back on the field at quarterback for Alabama. Tied 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Trailing Tennessee 14-7. The pitch is to guess who. And he gets back to the line and maybe about a yard, and that's all. Sean Alexander is knocked down at that point. Eric Westmoreland, who missed some time in this game with an injury, made the stop. Eric Westmoreland may be the most underrated linebacker in the country. He's just absolutely great.
He has such a great lateral move. You see there, he fights off the block. He didn't make the tackle. Thompson actually made the tackle, but we're talking about Westmoreland. He's moving down the line, occupying the blocker, and actually made Alexander cut back in to where the pursuit was coming from.
Got the speed to do that. So has Renox. Here's a reverse to Freddie Mullins. Tennessee strings it out pretty good and does a nice job of running him out of bounds short of the 30-yard line. It was Darwin Walker, one of the guys over there. Boy, he covers ground for a big guy who's almost 300 pounds.
Well, he can move. He saw it early. He saw the reverse coming Tennessee's corner on this side, which is that Goodrich? Goodrich did a nice job staying at home, reading it, and then Walker made the nice play, too, coming up, stretching it out, and really with no place for Mullins to go.
Darwin Walker, of course, is senior, and senior tackles make plays like that. So it becomes a 3rd down situation now for the Crimson Tide. In the shotgun is Andrew Zhao. Got a little bit of time to throw, got his 1st down, and then some. Freddie Mullins. Dwayne Goodrich made the stop. Andy, the thing about that pass play is they must have run that 10 times against Ole Miss, and it worked every time, and it's working here.
It's a good philosophy. You got 3 receivers on one side. You got one guy runs it flat. I think one guy ran deep, and then that kind of opens the middle up. And Mullins did a nice call, like maybe a dig route or a crossing route to get into the seam in the middle. Runs a nice route, makes a nice catch, and a good throw by Zhao. He had time, stepped up. You see one guy go to the flat, one guy go deep, and there comes Mullins into the middle with nobody really in the middle. Tennessee looked like they were in man-to-man.
All right, it's 1st down and 10 to go. They give it to Alexander. He breaks tackles and rides it down finally after a sizable gain to the 43-yard line. It is D'Angelo Lloyd making the stop. Tennessee using a lot of people on the defensive line, I guess hoping in the 4th quarter to have some fresh legs out there. So D'Angelo is in there right now. Ball is on the 43. It becomes 2nd down and 3. 7-yard pickup by Sean Alexander. Almost always running behind his left tackle, Samuels, considered by many one of the best, if not the best in the country. It's bobbled, and Zhao is fortunate to come up with it. Sean Ellis hits him, and Zhao is going to be, this guy is hurting. He's in there, but he is hurting. The leg injury, and Andy, every time he gets hit, it seems like it gets a little bit worse.
Well, he's playing with pain for sure, as are a couple of Tennessee guys. He takes a nice little lick on the leg again. Lucky for him, he got the ball back. That could have been a huge turnover, but, you know, these are tough guys on the field. This is Tennessee and Alabama, and I promise you, both guys on both sides of the field, they're going to do whatever it takes to be in the ballgame. If this is all possible, they're going to be out there playing.
Submarining in there that time is Raynoch Thompson, who's coming off hernia surgery. Give you an idea how tough this guy is. 3rd down and 5. So big for the Alabama O, big for the Tennessee defense with 5:52 to go in the 3rd quarter. Here is pressure on Zhao, firing. It's almost intercepted. His pass, because of the pressure, was short, and Andre Lott cut in front of the intended receiver and actually was far and away the closest person to it. So the Vol faithful here, who've made the trip to Tuscaloosa, roar their approval. Alabama will be into punt formation. Patrick Morgan will be kicking.
Pretty good coverage by Lott, but actually, as you said, Bob, the pressure, the ball actually got tipped as Zhao let it go, and Lott almost in position for the interception.
Morgan to punt, Eric Parker to receive. Rushes on, but Parker calls for and makes a fair catch. Good hands. Some other people might have dropped that football because he was sort of leaning forward when he caught it, but being a receiver, Tennessee has always liked kick people first and foremost who can catch the football, and Eric Parker can do that.
Well, that's obviously the most important thing. If you don't catch it, there's not much you can do with it after that except try to get on the fumble. So that's the key. And any kick returner, punt returner, that's the thing the guys work on more than anything else, more than the runs, more than the block schemes. They work on catching the football because that's the most important thing. You have to have the ball.
Well, it's only a 26-yard punt, so it's at the 33-yard line. T. Martin is back to throw, and he's firing. He's got a man out there at the last second. Alabama guy, actually, I think it hit him in the back, and that probably looked to me like some interference, but we don't get any.
See, Bailey was there was contact all the way through that whole route. It was
Take a look.
Sort of a post corner route by Wilson, and there was contact the whole way, and then at the last second, that may not have been the interference, but I think earlier in the route, there was a lot of contact. I was watching downfield. Close there at the end, but earlier there was quite a bit of contact.
Usually when the defensive back is not looking, they'll flag him, but they didn't then. Here's a pass out in the flag. Tennessee trying to get some running room. They got the first down. Cedric Wilson, who's been pretty quiet today, made a good play at that time. Tough Cedric.
Nice first down for Tennessee. Tennessee spread it out, spread the Alabama defense out, and runs a quick little receiver screen, a safe throw. Alabama runs a similar type route, except they run it actually on the other side of the line of scrimmage with the receiver coming in. Tennessee runs it with the receiver running out. Both are effective. This time for Tennessee, you see the two receivers on the outside, nothing but blocks. Wilson just catches it, he gets what he can get, and it's a big first down.
And they tried to turn the corner this time with Henry and get up across midfield and into Alabama territory. Tennessee alternating their tailbacks. Jamal at about 70-30 in the ratio of carries for the tailbacks, but when Henry has come in, he's been very impressive.
Now that's what you need on the first down, Bob. You get 7 yards now in your second short situation. There's nothing in your offense that you can't run. If you want to go deep, you go deep. If you want to run it again, you can run it again. There's really nothing that you can't run in this situation.
Might be a good time to air it out. Let's see if Randy Sanders does that. No, he goes with a conservative play, and it picks up a couple of yards. It's very conservative because it's the fullback, Philip Crosby. Tennessee fullbacks carry on an average of about 1 time a game. Cornelius Griffith, the right defensive tackle, made the stop, so it's shy of a first down by 1.5 yards or 2 yards. Call it 3rd and 2. Boy, in Alabama territory, Tennessee here really needs a first down. A stand by Alabama would fire up their team and their crowd. D. Martin puts a man in motion to the right. They fake the handoff and throw the football, and it's incomplete. Ontario Smith was the intended receiver. Milo Lewis, the defender. They lined Ontario Smith up sort of as a wingback.
That's a different look. You hadn't seen that out of Tennessee this year. He actually ran what you call a wheel route, kind of an out and up. Nobody for Alabama was fooled.
Tennessee blows a golden opportunity with the field position there. After picking up 7 yards on the first down, they could not gain a first down. David Leverton turns it loose. Milan lets it go, and it takes an Alabama bounce into the end zone, so the Tide will bring it out to the 20-yard line. It'll be first down at 10. 3 minutes, 51 seconds to go in quarter number 3 in Tuscaloosa. 47 yards on the kick with the roll, and so the Tide will try now. Neither team in the last couple of series able to muster a whole lot. And the Red Elephant tries to urge his forces on. Background, you see part of the record-setting crowd here, 86,000 plus, the largest ever to see football in the state of Alabama. Andrew Zow's at quarterback. John Alexander at tailback. They give it to John Alexander, and he pops through. He's still driving. Deion Grant finally drags him down from safety. You think you've got him stopped at the line of scrimmage, and he just keeps going.
Well, I think by far you're seeing seeing Sean Alexander run obviously better against Tennessee than anybody has so far this season. He's just a good player. I keep saying it over and over, and I hate to be repetitive, but he is very, very good and very hard to tackle.
Last man to run up 100 yards on Tennessee was Sean Alexander a year ago. No one has done it since. He's going to do it today, it looks like. Tremendous pressure on Zhao. Got a man open, overthrew him, but he was going to be out of bounds anyway. Freddie Milans down the sidelines. Got a little too far out of bounds, and Zhao led him a little too far. But Zhao was getting great pressure that time, Andy, so that was a big factor in that.
Good heat up front. They try to run a hitch and go or a quick out and up. I'm not sure which one it was, but it was a pump fake by Zhao. And I'm really impressed with Milans. That guy's got some quickness and some speed, and he actually had to step that time after the pump fake, but as you said, just a little overthrown.
Second down and 10 to go for the Tide. Ball at the 36-yard line of Alabama. Carter is out here in motion. They fake a reverse, and Sean Alexander just chewing up yardage up across the 45 to the 46-yard line. Darwin Walker made the stop. I'm sure Johnny Davis is pulling out all stops and trying to figure out how to stop this guy, but it's not working. They fake the handoff.
Now, you watch Alexander running, and you said, I know the coaches are thinking, what can we do to slow him down? They knew coming into the game this is going to be the top game it was. There's no surprise of what Alabama's doing. It's just the fact that it's hard to bring. He's hard to bring down. He's hard to stop. And Tennessee's doing all the right things. Guys are in position a lot of times on a lot of the plays that he's had success with, but he's made a lot of it happen on his own.
14-7, Tennessee's in the lead, but Alabama showing some spark here with a couple of quick first downs. And Alexander running as hard as he did at the beginning of the game, if not harder. Tennessee trying to stack their defense to stop it. Alexander 18 carries for 98 yards, so he's only 2 shy of the 100 mark again. He's hit the 100 in every game this year. And Zhao calls a timeout. Timeout is charged to Alabama. 2 minutes and 32 seconds remaining in the third quarter of play, and the Tennessee Volunteers leading the Alabama Crimson Tide in Tuscaloosa by a score of 14-7.
CSS, Monday night is Volunteer Night, with the man whose career record ranks first among active NCAA head coaches, the Phil Fulmer Show. Tennessee football. Can T. Martin and the rest of the Vols pull off another national championship? Watch CSS and find out. And UT Classics. Tennessee football too good to see only once. CSS, your sports authority in the Southeast.
The excitement of SWAC football is here. There is nothing better than a battle in the SWAC. The fans, the bands, and the football. SWAC football is the best. Don't miss SWAC football. It's the bright young stars of the future delivering the best in college football action today. Stay tuned to this SWAC television network station, the home of classic SWAC football.
Stories you haven't heard from the network that knows Hollywood best. The E! True Hollywood Story. Every night at 9, only on E!
Back to the action. Here's the give to Alexander. This time Tennessee plays it pretty good, strings it out. It's Dominic Stevenson, number 28, who made the stop of Sean Alexander.
Nice job by Tennessee that time, stringing him out and actually bringing him down to the ground. Go back to right before the timeout. The timeout in itself could be a crucial play. As you see the replay here, Tennessee stringing it out and actually wrapping up at the last and holding on by Stevenson. But Alabama used a timeout in the third quarter, and that's something, if you have to do it, then you have to do it. But that's something that could come back to haunt them. Now they only have 2 touchdowns or 2 timeouts left in a close ball game that could come down to hurt Alabama.
Second down and 10, and knocked down beautifully by Tennessee's Mickey Allen. Tremendous pressure on Zhao again, and actually he maybe hurried his throw a bit, but Mickey Allen with great reflexes. Mickey had a couple of interceptions earlier in the year and has had a very good year off the bench. Zhao one now for 13 yards. 1 out of 5 for 13 yards.
See the heat on Zhao. Actually, I think he got hit as he was throwing it. But Mickey Allen, when he's in the ball game, it always seems like his name comes up. He's around the football making plays.
Well, he may have an opportunity again because it's a passing situation, 3rd down and 10, but with Sean Alexander in the backfield, who knows if it's passing. Here is Zhao. This time he does have time, and he's got a man wide open, and he dropped it. Sean Alexander. He had 6, and he couldn't hang on.
I mean, there's nothing you can do right there. Zhao stood in the pocket and had a great job Alabama up front. Tennessee didn't get any pressure. Zhao stood in there, looked around. Alexander did a nice job actually slipping wide. We had usually a linebacker trying to cover Alexander, that we switched it, the smart move, putting a safety on him, and he still slipped open and really should have had a touchdown, at least a big play.
Patrick Morgan is in punt formation. Eric Parker to receive for the Volunteers. Less than 2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. This time he kicks it a mile high. Parker takes it, gambles on it, and maybe gets about 3 yards for his effort before he is dropped. Minute 27 remaining in quarter number 3 in Tuscaloosa, 14-7, a crisp autumn afternoon. Typical of Alabama and Tennessee. Been a few of these games played in the rain, but for the most part down through the years, it seems they've always been glorious Saturdays, especially those in East Tennessee with the colors changing this time of the year. All right, Tennessee goes on offense. They get it to Jamal, and he doesn't get much. Maybe 2.5 or so.
Again, Tennessee on 1st down. The 1st down production has not been there, especially in the 2nd half. They've had a couple of good plays on 1st down, but for the most part, and especially the first phase of the series, 1st down production is, I know, not what the coaches want. You want to average at least 4 to 5 yards on 1st down. That would be ideal. That's not easy to do, but you really need to get more than 1 or 2 yards on 1st down.
He really got practically nothing out of that, so it's 2nd down, and he gets very little on this one. Tennessee has gone to the pass. It's turned out to be a big play for them, but they have been very reluctant to go to the pass.
Possibly part of that reason may be T. Martin. They're afraid maybe to take chances on T. Martin taking licks and getting banged up even more than he is.
Ball is at the 25, so they need 7. 3rd down and 7. Definitely a passing situation because Alabama's not giving up that much on the run right now, that's for sure. And they're going to blitz here. They're going to come after T. He's got time. It's knocked down, though, at the line of scrimmage.
Well, Tennessee got what they wanted. They got man coverage and had the protection up front. Alabama blitzed. Nobody got through.
Darius Gilbert is the man who knocked it down.
Nobody got through. T. Martin had a chance with a man-to-man coverage to hit a receiver, but it got knocked down at the line of scrimmage, as you see. May or may not have been a completion, but that's what you want. If you can catch Alabama or the defense in the blitz and you can protect, then you're going to have man-to-man coverage and a chance for big plays.
Alabama's going to come out in good position on this exchange unless Tennessee can nail him right here. And they pretty much do nail him right there. So thanks to Leviton's very good punt, Alabama didn't gain a whole lot in the exchange. Willie Miles was the man downfield, and the punt stood for 41, which is just about David's average. Well, that's the end of the quarter. Hey, folks, we got 15 more minutes of football to go in Tuscaloosa. It should be a real dandy down the stretch. Tennessee 14, Alabama 7.
On CSS, Wednesday night is Mississippi Night with the University of Southern Mississippi head coach's show, The Jeff Bauer Show. Formerly of Tennessee, Ole Miss football with David Cutcliffe. The Bulldogs head coach, The Jackie Sherrill Show, and Mississippi State football. Do you believe the season these guys are having? Think they can keep it up? Watch CSS and find out. CSS, your sports authority in the Southeast.
Among game show pairings, they take the cake. Bob Barker and Ron Waddy can't hold a candle.
Ben did all his stunts for Ferris Bueller,
I do all
right?
my stunts right here.
That's Zajac and Vanna White, pale in comparison.
The Fresh Prince of Washington, D.C.
There's just no comparison. Ben and Jimmy are back for an all-new season.
Win Ben Stein's money. Weekdays at 7:30 p.m., 6:30 Central, only on Comedy Central.
Arliss stands behind his players. Now they're standing behind him.
Backed by popular demand. Arliss.
I want
Arliss.
Agree.
Arliss. Get me Arliss.
A season without Arliss is like playing football without a job.
Arliss.
All right, 15 minutes of football to go. Both these teams at the moment, it may be kind of a long shot since they have both lost, but they're both in the championship picture. But the loser here, Andy, loses an awful lot because the loser has no chance whatsoever, of course. So that's how much is riding on it. In fact, the loser could be out of the bowl coalition or the major bowl picture as well. So that's how much is riding on this 15 minutes of football.
Well, that and another point is a conference championship could be on the line. Alabama's in line to have a chance to win the West. Tennessee's still in the hunt for the East. You know, they obviously have to have a little help from somebody beating Florida, but you know, those possibilities are still out there as well, as long as what you just said.
Actually, a little more pressure on Tennessee because Alabama's loss was outside the conference, of course. It was against Louisiana Tech. So they could still conceivably lose here and wind up winning the West. Alabama goes on offense right now. Tennessee digs in defensively. We start the fourth quarter of play in Tuscaloosa. The give is to Sean Alexander, and Tennessee strings him out, plays him pretty well right there. Did not give him a chance to cut back. He loves to cut back to his right. And Judd Granzo in there at linebacker was the man who made the stop. Again, Tennessee has used a lot of people today, some because of injuries, some just getting them rested for the fourth quarter.
Here you see a design counter by Alabama. You start one way, pull two people, and go the other. A design counter. Sean Alexander a lot of times runs counters when it's not a counter called, as you're talking about changing his direction.
They stack an eye with three receivers out here, and Andrew Zal throws long to it, and it's incomplete. Antonio Carter was there, but so was Andre Lott of Tennessee. I'll tell you a guy who's played a good game quietly today for the most part because he hasn't been spectacular. He's just been there every time is Fred White, number 2 for Tennessee.
Well, and he's one of Tennessee's steady players. You see on this play, they try to run an out and up with nice lift on Zal, but Andre Lott was a nice job in coverage, nice position. John Henderson, you see, putting a big hit on Zal, and he's taken a few of those today.
He's 1 for 7 in the second half. Third down and 9, so Tennessee trying to dig in here and get the ball back in good position. Alabama trying to keep it going, and Zhao is back there with time, firing incomplete. Tennessee's Westmoreland knocked it down, intended for Sean Alexander. Boy, you can't say enough for Westmoreland. Remember, he went out, and we were told at halftime he might not be able to come back with an injury, but he's come back with a vengeance.
I'll tell you what, if you know, watching Alabama today and seeing them in the past on TV and stuff, you take Sean Alexander out of their offense, there's really not much else there as far as their scheme. He's their best player in Alabama. Their coaches, they do everything they can to get him the ball in any possible situation.
He won't be there next year. Morgan gets off at Dandy. It chases Parker back. He retreats and looks for some help and comes over to the side. Can't find any running room. Gets knocked down right about the 20, maybe, correction, about the 15-yard line. So good coverage by Alabama on a terrific punt of 50 yards by Morgan.
See, Morgan struggled. He struggled a little bit today, but he got all of that one. That was a nice punt.
14 minutes remaining in the football game in Tuscaloosa. It's Tennessee 14, Alabama 7. Hang on for a great finish.
Nice shot.
You! Give me that import!
Oh, Skunky beer's not for drinking. Brewery Fresh Budweiser is.
Are you sure you're okay?
I've never been better.
When partying with your buds, be sure to choose a designated driver. It's the perfect pick-me-up. A message from your friends at Budweiser and O'Doul's.
Great party.
You're not going to believe what University of Tennessee fans are doing right in front of people, sometimes more than once, and some even brag about it. So Eastman Chemical Company and Knoxville Coca-Cola donated this commercial to make you aware of what's going on.
Attention volunteer fans, please recycle your plastic cups and bottles today at the game because good sports always recycle. Hey, way to recycle, volunteer fans.
Back to the action. T. Martin hands off to Jamal Lewis. Trying to find room. It's not going to be there. He had to fight like crazy, just get a yard or two. Milo Lewis, one of the men stringing him out from left cornerback. Alabama has punted 5 times in the second half. Tennessee twice. Tennessee on top 14-7, but needing to get out of this hole they're in right here now.
Not much room for Jamal there. He just strings it out. Alabama strings it out nicely, and Lewis just uses his strength to get a couple of yards. But again, on first down, not much going for the Tennessee offense.
Second down and 8 yards to go. Got only a couple. So it puts Tennessee in a passing situation right away on second down. And they throw it out in the flat to Cedric Wilson, and he's going to lose yardage. Batted the ball up in the air. By the time he was able to gather it back in, the defense had recovered, and Tennessee is going in the wrong direction. They're going backwards right here.
Well, a huge mistake here by Wilson. Not a great throw by T. On his hip a little bit. It actually would have been better if that would have been incomplete, but he had some help a little bit. If he caught it cleanly, at worst, would have gotten a few yards. Since he would have gotten a few yards out of it, but as it turned out, it turned into a big loss.
Well, you're back to the goal, and that's the situation down on the 14-yard line. What's in your repertoire that is 3rd and 14?
Well, I tell you, you want to get the first down, but you can't take a huge risk right here, because if you give the ball to Alabama on a turnover right here, that could change the whole complexity of the game.
Alabama end zone crowd roaring, trying to disrupt Tennessee. T. Martin sees it open up in front of him, and he's going to get pretty good yardage out of it. Good recovery time by T. Martin.
Well, that's what you do, Bob. You call a pass play and let T. Martin make something happen on his own.
T. Martin.
T's fired up after that, and he should be. That's a heck of a play by T. The pass play, nobody really open. I was looking downfield to try to find a receiver. Alabama did a nice job in coverage, but a lane opened up, and T. Martin again hurt Alabama with his feet, and he's done that several times last week and again tonight.
We may look back at the end of this game, and call that one of the biggest plays of the game. But we've still got over 12 minutes of football remaining, so a million things can happen. Here's Jamal Lewis, who has struggled all day, not so much because of him, but he just hasn't had the blocking to clear the way. Kenny King made the stop that time, right defensive end.
Well, that's a better play on first down. You get, 3 or 4, almost 5 yards. It's a good first down play. Tennessee spread it out with 4 wides that time. We hadn't seen that very much, actually, all year out of Tennessee, with only 1 back in the backfield with 4 wide receivers. Tennessee spread them out and hit it up the gut and got good yardage.
Second down, 6 to go for Tennessee at the 31, their own. Bobby Graham went in motion that time, and they fire it out here. It's complete, and twisting and turning is Cedric Wilson, trying to pick up some positive yards. Dixon made the stop defensively for the Crimson Tide. It's probably enough for the first. It is.
Nice execution here by T. Set up a nice short route, a little curl route. Wilson almost ran back and lost the first down. He's lucky to get back up and get the first down. When he first caught it, he had the first down, as you see right here, right past the 36. and actually lost yardage and then actually got knocked back into the first down.
All right, Andy, here's another one of those big first down plays. Let's see if Tennessee can get positive yardage, and this time they drive Jamal and get some pretty good yardage. Salim Rashid made the stop. Cornelius Griffin also in defensively for Alabama.
Tell you what, Tennessee's popped this new formation, not really a new formation, but something they hadn't run tonight, and actually not a lot this year. Like I said, the 4 wide receivers and 1 running back, and Alabama hadn't really had time to adjust to it. They haven't seen it much on film this year from Tennessee, and obviously not tonight, or today they haven't seen it. It's working, and Tennessee's sticking with it right now, and I think that's a good idea. You find something that's working, stick with it until Alabama they have to make their adjustment.
So it becomes 2nd down and 5. Which is a pretty good offensive situation for you. Alabama jumping all over the place and obviously offsides, but the question is, did Tennessee flinch? And here comes the linesman to tell the officials his call. It looked offsides. I didn't see anybody move for Tennessee.
Contact by the defense, 5 yards, still 2nd down.
That is the case.
I think Tennessee left guard moved, I think Weary moved a little bit, but that was after the contact was made. Get a look at it here.
No.
Yeah, that's going to go on the defense. There's obviously was going to be contact. Weary did flinch a little bit before it, but it was.
Alabama 3 penalties for 15 yards. The official held up play for just a second. Now we get set to go. Tennessee looking at a 2nd down and 1. What you'd like to do too now is run as much clock as possible. Here is Jamal going to get the 1st down and get close to a face mask, but apparently not. It's Reggie Miles from the Bama secondary making the stop on Jamal.
See what, Jamal Lewis is so strong. That's 2 plays we've seen on this series where there's not much there. He strings it out, spreads it out, and uses his left arm as a stiff arm. Look at that, just pushing off and then gaining extra yards. He wouldn't have had that 1st down if he hadn't used the stiff arm, but just a strong guy.
They move the chains again, and the clock shows exactly 10 minutes to go as of right now.
Again, Tennessee still sticking with this formation. It's giving Alabama some problems.
3 men at the bottom of the screen, and they run Jamal in the gut, and he picks up to or down to the 45-yard line. Kendall Moorhead made the stop. Jamal asked to come out. There's a flag in the middle of everything, and so Tennessee,
the late flag,
kind of retreating and looking disgusted here, so I kind of believe it's going to be against the Vols.
Well, if this is the 15-yarder, that's tough. That's a tough penalty.
Oh, it is a brutal one.
After the play is over, personal foul against the offense, 15 yards, 3rd down.
Can't have those kind of penalties. There's no excuse for that. I don't care what happens.
Personal foul.
You can't have that. You know, your emotions run high, and as we talked all day, it's a physical game. You get into it, and I promise you, on every play, somebody wants to slug somebody, but you've got to be able to restrain yourself. Even if you get hit or if somebody does something dirty to you, you've got to be able to restrain yourself, because that's going to hurt your team if you get a penalty like this, and this has hurt Tennessee.
So instead of the ball being in Alabama territory, it's back at the 40 of Tennessee. T. Martin with 3 wideouts at the bottom of the screen. Got time, throws it in the flat. Got a man open down the sideline. Streaking with the football is Cedric Wilson. And Tony Dixon finally caught him and saved a touchdown.
Well, what a play. That's huge. After the big penalty, you know, there's still no excuse for that penalty. It put Tennessee in a bad situation, but a nice job by the offense responding. Coming back, a good play call by Randy Sanders. You see Alabama being very aggressive up front. Nice job by the lineman getting out on the corner. Wilson makes the catch. Another nice block downfield. I don't see who that was, but a huge play in this ball game.
Josh Tucker was one of the guys who made a good block out there. 37 yards on the play.
You see Wilson, a heck of a job by Wilson. There was actually man coverage, or at least a tight coverage. Wilson does a nice job running him off and getting some separation.
Ball on the 23-yard line. Tennessee marching methodically downfield. Here's the give in the middle to Travis Henry. Not a whole lot there, but some positive yardage.
You see Travis with a smile on his face looking at T. There was some confusion there. Travis thought that was going to be a handoff, and obviously T thought that was going to be a pitch. That was almost disaster for Tennessee, because T was pitching it when Henry was right next to him. A little confusion there.
A little similar situation happened. Was that in the Georgia game between the Joey Matthews and Travis, and resulted in a fumble there. Here's the fake. He rolls around. He's got some open field in front of him. Touchdown, T. Martin.
Beautiful, beautiful call. That may be the call of the game right there by Randy Sanders and the Tennessee coaches. It's a second down. Tennessee's been running the ball effectively pretty much this whole series. They ran the ball on first down, came out second down, a nice play action, a bootleg. Again, just like the touchdown earlier, T. Martin had two options. He had his tight end open. I think it was Finlayson was open. He had a chance to get it to him, decided to tuck it, took the safe play, and got it in the end zone. Heck of a play by T. Heck of a call and a heck of a play by T. Martin using his leg once again.
Gregory is the snapper, Scott is the holder, and Walls is the kicker. Let's see if the trifecta works. It does. Tennessee goes up 21-7 with 8 minutes and 26 seconds remaining. And there you see the happy throng from the Volunteer State. But a lot of football left. We'll take a break here in Tuscaloosa. We'll be back with more action on CSS, Tennessee and Alabama.
Only one network delivers more of the drama and excitement of tournament golf. The Golf Channel. More of the stars of tomorrow. More of the top professional players of today. More of the greatest women golfers. More tournaments from around the world. What you've come to expect from the only network devoted exclusively to the game of golf. The Golf Channel. Tournaments.
Hi there. You know, TV can inform, educate, and entertain, but not everything is appropriate for kids. Here's something you can do to take charge of your TV.
To make informed choices about what programs are right for your children, use the TV ratings. The ratings give you information about the content of a show and whether it's appropriate for certain ages. The ratings can help you make smart viewing choices and use the family TV wisely.
Brought to you by the National PTA and the cable television industry.
Leverton will be kicking off. Millens and Beard are deep for Alabama at the goal line. Leverton into a slight wind, but he gets it deep into the end zone and out of there. Santonio Beard could not handle it and would have had to down it anyway. So Alabama will bring it out to the 20. Leverton continues to be magnificent for Tennessee.
We're getting the situation now. There's still a lot of time left in the game, but Tennessee's front four and even the linebackers, they can maybe a little bit start thinking a little bit more about getting pressure because Alabama's got to make something happen. It's not a crucial situation yet. They don't have to like air it out and start throwing every play.
Well,
but you might be able to see the Tennessee's front just maybe pin their ears back a little bit more than they've been doing all day.
Martin has got 48 yards on 9 carries, Andy, for a couple of touchdowns.
And we were worried at halftime that he may not be in the game the second
right.
half, and he's made it some huge plays running the ball.
Bad throw by Andrew Zhao. I had a man out there, but Tennessee had it pretty well covered. I think he would have caught it had it been a good pass, though. Shamari Buchanan and Dwayne Goodrich was in the neighborhood, but Zhao threw it behind him and a little high. So it becomes second down and 10 to go. Zhao now is 1 of 9 in the second half.
A lot, you know, I'm sure Zhao is shaken up a little bit and fighting whatever injury he may have had, but Tennessee has gotten better pressure on him in the second half than they got in the first half. That's a lot to do with it, too.
A great deal, especially on a couple of the throws. One is actually tipped. Here's Zhao in the shotgun, got a low snap, got hit again just as he threw it. Really got racked. Ed Golden. Take a look at it here.
See the pressure. Golden coming from from outside. Nobody touched it.
Safety blitz.
Straight shot to the quarterback, and when you got an opportunity like that, you got to make the most of it. He almost had the sack, but you know, that's the next best thing. Hitting the quarterback, causing an incompletion.
So it becomes a 3rd down and 10. It gives Tennessee a chance to pin the ears back right here if they choose to do so.
Again, I would keep an eye on Mr. Alexander in any situation. He's the guy that they need to get the ball in his hands.
I'm sure they're looking at him. Here's Zhao throwing. Got a man. Tennessee defender fell down. And Shamari Buchanan comes up with a big catch and moves the ball up to the 40-yard line. Andre Lott fell down on the play.
Well, that was a nice play by Zhao. Actually, Alexander stayed in and blocked. It was a maximum protection. You see Alabama, the tight end and both running backs stayed in to block. Tennessee did bring the blitz, so it's man-to-man coverage. Lott just fell down, but a nice play by Zhao, getting it out, getting the completion, getting the big first down. If they don't get that first down, it's going to be hard for them to win this ball game. Now they still have a shot.
It's 1st down and 10 at the 40-yard line. Zhao, again, looking at a little pressure and firing a little too high for McAtley. Jason McAtley. Dwayne Goodrich was covering.
You see the pocket it's starting to close a little bit quicker every time. The last play he had good protection, but for the most part in the second half, the pocket's starting to close down a little faster than it did in the first half. He's not able to sit back there and wait on his second and third receivers with short routes. He's having to unload it and try to get it down the field because of the situation in the game, and the pocket's starting to close just a little bit faster than it did in the first half.
That last completion was Zhao's only completion in this quarter. We've got 7:49 to go in the football game. Tennessee up 21-7, but Alabama looking at a 2nd and 10 and trying to move right here. Here is the little pass out to Alexander in the flat, and the first man misses him, but the second man does not. And Dwayne Goodrich made the stop. One of the linebackers, I think, flew by him, so...
Nice tackle by Goodrich. We hadn't seen that much all day. Alexander go down, even with 2 guys in the open field, it's hard to bring down, and so a nice job by Goodrich to get him down, even though he had a little help. If he hadn't brought him down, he'd have been off to the races. I think Golden, we got a miss right there.
It's not that he runs with so much brutal force. It's just that his feet are so good.
He's so quick and shifty.
3rd down and 7. Big down for Tennessee right here. Big one. Here's the long pass, almost intercepted. Intended for Antonio Carter, way off the mark. Deion Grant was hanging around there in the neighborhood, and if Deion's in the neighborhood, you're in trouble and you threw it too high.
You see Tennessee's bounce back in the second half. They have a lot better second half as far as passing ball than the first half. They only had, 50-something yards in the first half passing. We've come back with a little more, but I think that last play it got away from Zhao. That ball, he doesn't usually, sling them that high in the middle of the field.
Barker's back to receive the Morgan punt. Morgan gets off the kick, and Parker's going to ask for the fair catch. It's a wise decision. The way that thing was kicked, it could have rolled all the way down to the 2 or 3 yard line. There's timeout on the field. We've got 6 minutes and 52 seconds to go. That punt was 37 yards. The score in Tuscaloosa is Tennessee 21, Alabama 7.
Fight one more round. When your feet are so tired that you have to shuffle back to the center of the ring. Fight one more round. When your arms are so tired that you hardly can lift your hands to come on guard. Fight one more round. When your nose is bleeding and your eyes are black.
Ray, I suffered the man from the boys. Now we're blowing it.
And you're so tired that you wish your opponent would crack you on the jaw and put you to sleep. Fight one more round. The best fighters in the world have a few things in common. Determination, drive, the will to be the best. And they all fight on HBO. Fight one more round. Remembering that the man who always fights one more round is never whipped. Fight one more round.
For over 25 years, boxing's undisputed champion.
Hi, I'm Kenny Mayne, along with Dan Patrick, who will now speak.
Don't miss SportsCenter on ESPN and Comcast Cable.
If I had one of those TV rating boxes on my television, the #1 show in the country would be 11 p.m. SportsCenter. Okay, maybe it won't hit #1, but it'll definitely give Dharma and Greg a run for their money.
Welcome back here on CSS. We've got 6-5-2, 6:52 remaining in the contest. Tennessee takes over the football at their own 18-yard line, leading 21-7. Jamal Lewis is the tailback. They put Johnson in motion. They pitch it back, and he runs behind Johnson, and good big yardage. Jamal running and rambling down into Alabama territory on a monster play. Reggie Miles finally rode him out of bounds. I think it was a Neal Johnson block that cleared the way for him. Boy, Neal Johnson has had a couple of games in which he has been devastating as far as blocking is concerned.
Even on T. Martin's run, I think I was mistaken. I said somebody else, but it was Neal Johnson, the tight end, that had a chance to catch the pass and then made the huge block. Here he is again. Actually, not just John. You see Crosby out front. There's Crosby with a great block.
Good block for the fullback.
And then Jamal does the rest with it, using his speed. And again, there's that stiff arm. Gaining another 15, 20 yards, just keeping Miles off of him with his left arm. That's strong right there.
First down and 10 to go. They pitch it to Jamal. He comes to the left, jumps a man, and dives for positive yardage down to the 35-yard line. Constant, the middle linebacker, made the stop. Philip Crosby with a good block.
I'll tell you what, Crosby absolutely destroyed whoever was in his path. I don't know who he hit. You watch the fullback here on the left of your screen. Pow! That's a heck of a block. That's 2 plays in a row where Crosby sprung Jamal Lewis for one huge gain and then another good gain on first down.
Kansas State 28, U 25.
Second down and 6 to go with the ball at the 35 of Alabama. Tennessee puts Johnson again, gripped in motion, and they run behind him. This time it's Travis Henry. He cuts back, and he's got close to, if not a first down.
Tennessee's found something these last 3 plays. They've run a sweep all 3 plays, and it's like we said earlier, when Tennessee came out with the 4 wides and 1 running back, Alabama didn't have an answer for it. Tennessee's come out this year. They ran the sweep on first down, it worked. Run it on second down, it worked. So they turned around and run it on third down, and it worked again. Alabama, for this series, for whatever reason, they don't have an answer for the sweep, and part of the reason is just good execution by Tennessee, getting the job done.
Jamal Lewis now has gone over the 100-yard mark. He's got 108. We're going to take a little break right here in Tuscaloosa with 5:48 to go, and the Volunteers up 21-7 over the Tide.
Fight one more round. When your feet are so tired that you have to shuffle back to the center of the ring. Fight one more round. When your arms are so tired that you hardly can lift your hands to come on guard. Fight one more round. When your nose is bleeding and your eyes are black. When you're so tired that you wish your opponent would crack you on the jaw and put you to sleep. Fight one more round. The best fighters in the world have a few things in common. Determination, drive, the will to be the best, and they all fight on HBO. Fight one more round. Remembering the man who always fights one more round is never wins. Fight one more round.
For over 25 years, boxing's undisputed champion.
Hi there. You know, TV can inform, educate, and entertain, but not everything is appropriate for kids. Here's something you can do to take charge of your TV.
To make informed choices about what programs are right for your children, use the TV ratings. The ratings give you information about the content of a show and whether it's appropriate for certain ages. The ratings can help you make smart viewing choices and use the family TV wisely.
Brought to you by the National PTA and the cable television industry.
Well, there's the massive crowd here, the biggest crowd ever to see a football game in the state of Alabama, slightly over 86,000.
I think it's a little less than that right now, Bob. I see a couple of people heading for the exits, although there's still almost 6 minutes to go.
A lot of time. Tennessee trying to do 2 things here, score and kill time off that clock, too. They put Johnson dancing down the line in motion. They run a fake this time out, pass it in the flat to Crosby. And He's down to about the 22 before he's stopped by Marvin Constant. Is not that the same play, Andy, in the Fiesta Bowl where they picked up the big first down to Sean Bryson?
It looked very similar, and I like that play call. It's a very safe call. Alabama's got it packed in. I obviously expecting Tennessee to run out the clock. It's a relatively safe pass. You see a nice job by Crosby catching it and staying in bounds. I mean, that's important. The clock's running now. If he'd have gotten out of bounds, it'd be stopped. Now we're going to be able to run maybe 20 more seconds off the clock.
We'll make it now a 2nd down and 2 with 5 minutes and a tick or two left here in the football game. Go into that same formation. This time they pick up the first down, and they pick up a lot more with Travis Henry. Miguel Merritt from right linebacker spot rode him down, but not until the man they call Cheese had picked up a chunk of yardage.
I tell you what, this series, Tennessee's offensive line, they've had a pretty good game all day today. They have taken control right here with Crosby at the fullback blocking as well, and the offensive line this series, they have just taken control of the line of scrimmage and just actually just rammed it down Alabama's throat right now.
Using a double tight end with Finlinson and Johnson, and it's been effective.
It looks like all the winds out of Alabama's cell right now, and Tennessee's just punching it at them.
Same formation, same pitch, same results.
Well, that's hard running.
Travis Henry.
Well, Tennessee's got such a great position. When you got Jamal Lewis, you can pound at people, and then when he's tired, you throw Travis Henry in there, another guy that, you know, anybody in the country would love to have Travis Henry as their backup. Just again, Tennessee's taking control up front. You see Crosby leading, actually nobody to block till he got in the secondary, and then Henry just using his power to gain every inch he can get, and Tennessee is just taking over this game right now, this last part of the fourth quarter.
We said at the beginning, and Andy said fourth quarter would be a telltale factor because of Tennessee's strength and experience, and most of all their depth. There's a flag as it's close to a first down, but we'll see what the official ruling here is. 3:50 remaining in the contest. That stops the clock.
I think if Tennessee punches it in.
Defense, half the distance penalty, but a first down.
First down on the defensive offside, and folks, as he said, offside defense. About 50,000 people stood up and started for the exit.
Tennessee punches it in out here. It's going to be one of the smallest crowds in Alabama history to see to the end of a ball game.
Good, get them out of here because we got to drive back to Birmingham. Same identical offense. Let's see if it's the same result. Nope, Alabama plays it pretty good this time. Yeah, you did. No need to. Ball is bouncing around down there, and Alabama may have recovered it.
Goodness gracious. The only thing you don't want to do in that situation is, wow. What can you say?
Came up with it. 3 minutes and 21 seconds to work with. Tennessee with a 14-point lead. 21-7. Let's take a look and see what happened. It's pitched to Travis Henry, who's had some problems fumbling.
Right there. I mean, at this situation, it's hard to tell a running back not to fight for yardage, but in this situation, there's really nowhere to go. You're stuck, hitting the backfield. Use your vision. Don't see anything. Just go down. And it's hard to tell a running back to go down in any situation. But after this hit right here, when he bounces off, really nowhere to go. Just go down and limit your losses.
It's about 4 or 5 key fumbles this year for Travis Henry, although he has run well.
Fumble.
There's a loose ball down there. Alabama has recovered, though. It's a problem Travis Henry has, although he has played, I said, extremely well, so you can't fault him a whole lot.
Yeah, like I said, it's hard to expect a guy to go down in any situation, but, you know, as a player, that's what you have to do sometimes. You have to just limit your losses and make the best of a bad situation.
Zhao firing. Let's rule it complete to Shamari Buchanan at the 29-yard line.
With 2:47, as we said earlier, in the third quarter, Alabama only has one timeout left. They had to burn one in the third quarter. That could be something, could be a factor.
Zhao out of the shotgun. You know he's going to throw every time, and he completes this one to McAdley. Derek Edmonds made the stop for the Vols, but it's up to the 40-yard line. Still 2 minutes and 28 seconds to go. They've spotted actually on the 39.
Good job by Edmonds here, keeping selling out, making the tackle. and not letting him get out of bounds. Actually, I think it's White.
Here's the pass complete out in the right flat to John Bohannon.
You know, and Alabama's moving the ball right now and getting some position, but actually Tennessee they're not playing a prevent defense, but they're definitely not getting beat deep. They're giving Alabama the shorter stuff. It's not a prevent defense.
They got a nickel package in
It's
there.
sort of a nickel package, and they're giving the short stuff, if nothing else, to run the clock out.
Almost intercepted.
Every time Alabama completes one short and stays in bounds, the clock's going to keep running. They try the deep one there, and as you see, Tennessee was in great position for any deep route. That's what they're playing for.
Goodrich almost intercepted the pass intended for McAtley.
Actually, Goodrich just had to make a play on the ball because he was already back there, and he had help over top as well with the safety. I think Grant was over top, so Tennessee's playing the deep routes and giving up the short stuff.
21-7 Tennessee, 2 minutes and 2 seconds remaining in the contest in Tuscaloosa. Ball's digging in defensively, knowing that it's going to be in the air somewhere.
Blitz.
Big pressure rush, but a completed pass by Zhao to Shamari Buchanan.
Now that was not a prevent defense. Tennessee brought the blitz. It was man-to-man. Goodrich fell down, and it's a big first down for Alabama. But Tennessee's not sitting back on their heels and just giving them everything. Tennessee actually brought the blitz that time. You see us one-on-one coverage out there. If he gets beat, it could be a touchdown, but a nice tackle.
Ball at the 42. Tennessee smells that one out. John Bohannon is dropped by Mickey Allen. Minute 40 to go. Hurry up offense by Alabama. No huddle.
Again, the clock's running. Tennessee gave him the short route, came up, made the tackle inbound, burned more clock.
Tennessee trying to get pressure up front. Here's a long throw, incomplete. Well covered. Freddie Mellons with Andre Lott stride for stride with him. Mike DeBose, knowing the clock is not a friendly foe right now. 1:24. The incomplete pass stops the clock. Tennessee came in favored by 3 points. Most of the people I saw last night on national networks were picking Alabama today. Didn't quite understand their theory on that, but that's what they were doing. I think because of Tuscaloosa. Here is Zhao, got plenty of time, fires, man came back, and then Zhao threw it too high over Millen's head. It's incomplete. Brings up a 4th down. Deion Grant was playing center field.
Tennessee can hold here on 4th. It's minute 19, I think. With Alabama just used their last timeout. So if Tennessee holds here, we can Tennessee can take a knee and run the clock out, and all she wrote, ball game over.
21-7. On the next level, Andy, the pro scouts say that Deion Grant will be a cornerback. He's awfully big for a corner, isn't he?
Well, he is. I didn't know that, but I'd say if he's going to be used at corner, he would be the type that would be a lot of bump and run, physical type corner.
Let's take a break right here with a minute 19 to go. You see the Alabama huddle. Tennessee leading 21-7 in Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Comedy Central's The Daily Show with Jon Stewart, celebrity guests.
Who wants to see more of me?
I did enter the Tobacco Queen Festival in college for some extra cash.
You win because you have a larynx.
I didn't win.
These are trading cards of you. It's the only thing I've kept.
The Daily Show with Jon Stewart, Monday through Thursday at 11 only on Comedy Central.
All right, on a 4th down and 12, Zhao got people in his face, fires incomplete. That's your ball game. Zhao 9 of 23 in the second half. Sean Ellis put the pressure on him, and Judd Granzo was there also.
We see Zhao leaving the field there, and it's not a great second half for Zhao, but he stood in there and took a lot of hits all day long. And he's a typical player in this Tennessee-Alabama series. No matter what it takes, these guys are going to be on the field beat up, banged up. Tennessee has the same thing on their side. A lot of guys out there playing hurt because this is such a huge game.
There's the record attendance here. Boy, you got to give Tennessee a world of credit. They have come in here in one of the most publicized games. Well, I'm going to take that back. The most publicized game, I guess, in the history of Alabama football, because it's in Tuscaloosa for the first time in 69 years. They had everything on the other side fighting against them, and they have persevered. And
I think this game for Tennessee, they came in, they played like a mature football team. They had the one penalty, one mistake on the special teams that gave Alabama a first down that set up really Alabama's only touchdown. But for the most part, obviously not a perfectly played game. But Tennessee came in here, they played smart. They didn't make a lot of mistakes. They didn't turn the ball over too much until the very end, when it actually probably cost Tennessee another touchdown with Henry. But they played like a mature football team that came in here ready to play. And you got to tip your hats to the players and to the Tennessee coaches. Tennessee came in here ready to play a football game in a hostile situation against one of the biggest rivals that you can have.
T. Martin 11 for 17, 147 yards, but he really, in many ways, won this football game, Andy, on his legs.
Had some huge plays running, some big first downs to set up one touchdown, a big first down when Tennessee was back deep in their own territory. Just a big game. Another 2 games in a row for T. Martin, where he played like a champion, like he played last year.
You saw DuBose and Fulmer meet and shake hands at the middle of the field, and so are the players. This has been an incredibly clean series down through the years. There's great intensity and unbelievable rivalry, but it's been what I call a class series, Andy.
Really, I think a key to that is because there's a lot of respect on both sides of the field. Tennessee respects Alabama, and Alabama respects Tennessee, and that goes along with the good sportsmanship and the hard play, because if you don't, you have to respect a team like Alabama. On the other hand, Alabama has to respect a team like Tennessee. 2 class organizations, 2 class schools, and 2 classy football programs.
John Alexander of Alabama leading the prayer at the middle of the field. Well, Tennessee now goes back home for 2 games. They've got South Carolina coming in next week, followed by Notre Dame, then on the road to Arkansas and Kentucky, and wrap it up at home against Vanderbilt. Alabama still got a tough game against Mississippi State, a team that they've had some problems with in recent years, so it's not over for Alabama. They still have a chance to win the West, and Tennessee is still in the national hunt as well as the Eastern Division hunt. Andy, good calls today, man. You were on top of it. I knew you would be intense because you should have been down there playing. You wanted to be down there, but
well, I tell you, I didn't have much luck against them when I played, but I wish I'd give anything to have more crack at them. But it's fun to be in this atmosphere and actually being a little part of the game. It was an enjoyable game. Anytime Tennessee beats Alabama, you got to leave with a big smile on your face.
They did it 21-7, guys in the truck. Great job by you. From Tuscaloosa, Alabama, for CSS and all the gang, this is Bob Bell. Good night.
Coming up next on 10 News tonight, the sports world is saddened after a golfing legend dies in a plane crash. 2-time U.S. Open winner Payne Stewart is dead after a mysterious plane crash in South Dakota. We'll bring you pictures from the scene. And this is Red Ribbon Week. Dan Cohen shows us how the community is saying no to drugs. And Rome turns out for Make a Difference Day Saturday. Mr. Harris was there and brings us the story. And we have more cold weather on tap for tonight. Jason McLeod's exclusive SkyTrack forecast is coming up. And Chris Dietz will have all the sports action from high school football all the way to the World Series. 10 News tonight is next.
10 News is honored to be recognized for outstanding community service by the Cable Television Association of Georgia. Stay tuned. 10 News is next.
Bengal Roach Spray is guaranteed roach extermination overnight. It has a unique dry formula which is odorless, non-staining, and flushes insects out of hiding and kills them. Bengal Roach Spray is your solution to tough roach problems, guaranteed.
And now, the same quality that you have come to expect in Bengal Roach Spray is available in a complete line of lice-killing products. Ask for them at your local pharmacy.
And remember, if it says Bengal, it works.
I'd like to welcome you to Psychic Talk USA. What you're feeling towards your husband right now, you need to kind of let it go.
Yeah.
Because it's not all his fault.
We just got into a fight just now. I'm over at a friend's house. And she goes, you need to call these people to make you feel better.
Wow, are these women making sense to you?
Yes. Try it yourself. We're making our best offer ever to prove to you that our psychics are real. Don't wait. Call right now.
Call 1-800-818-2464.
You're watching CNWG, Comcast, Northwest Georgia. Now, from your hometown news team, this is 10 News Tonight.
The Learjet 35 is a corporate plane with a good safety record. Learjets fly millions of safe miles each year. The question everyone is asking tonight is what made Payne Stewart's plane different? Good evening, I'm Ben Cleary. Thank you for joining your hometown news team. A lone aircraft flying on its own. There was nothing anyone could do. It's a bizarre story that ended in the death of one of the nation's best-known golfers. What happened to Payne Stewart and 4 other people on board that Learjet this afternoon? Tonight's top story. The Learjet 35 left Orlando, Florida this morning, bound for Dallas, Texas. 20 minutes later, air traffic controllers lost contact with the plane over Gainesville, Florida. Something went terribly wrong. Military jets were scrambled to trail the aircraft, which now appear to be operating on autopilot and heading northwest. The F-16s observed the plane's windshield to be frosted over, suggesting cabin decompression. Experts say the 2 pilots and 3 passengers on the plane likely lost consciousness from lack of oxygen and were probably dead before the plane hit the ground after running out of fuel. Now, why the 5 people did not immediately go on oxygen will not be known until the NTSB investigation is finished. Payne Stewart was part owner of the Learjet 35. The 42-year-old golfer was one of the most recognizable players in professional golf. Now, he always wore his trademark knickers and won 3 major championships, including his 2nd U.S. Open last summer. The National Transportation Safety Board is on their way to the scene tonight. The plane crashed into a marshy area in South Dakota and is partially submerged. Chris Dietz has more about the career of golfer Payne Stewart later this half hour in sports. Well, Pat Buchanan is abandoning his GOP presidential bid to try to gain the Reform Party nomination. The announcement came as no surprise. Buchanan made the announcement this morning in Falls Church, Virginia.
Today I am ending my lifelong membership in the Republican Party and my campaign for its nomination, and I am declaring my intention to seek the nomination of the Reform Party for the presidency of the United States of America.
Republicans have urged the conservative commentator to remain in the party lest he take votes away from the party nominee. Buchanan began considering a third-party bid after George W. Bush secured the dominant position with the Republican Party. The Reform Party is the same party of Ross Perot and Minnesota Governor Jesse Ventura, and possibly entrepreneur Donald Trump if he decides to run for president. Visitors to Congressman Bob Barr's Washington office were met with a surprise Thursday, a barricade by medical marijuana users. Capitol Police arrested Jim Miller of Silverton, New Jersey, after he lifted his 52-year-old wife from her wheelchair and placed her in front of Barr's office door. 2 other medical marijuana users joined Mrs. Miller in the protest. They were all allowed to leave without arrest. The group was protesting Barr's effort to block medical marijuana use in the District of Columbia. Barr was not in his office at the time of the protest. And in Washington, the Capitol flag is at half-staff this evening. Rhode Island Senator John Chafee has died from heart failure at Bethesda Naval Hospital. Chafee, a Republican, was in his 4th term in office. He was a leading voice in crafting the Clean Air Act back in 1990 and recently led efforts to strengthen the Safe Drinking Water Act. Chafee was 77 years old. Teamsters are on strike tonight throughout the country. Picket lines began to form early this morning in Atlanta. Online were members and workers of Overnight Transportation Company, one of the nation's largest trucking companies. The Teamsters Union and Overnight have been trying to negotiate a contract for over 4 years. There are 21 centers where the union represents employees and 160 terminals in the United States. Well, Saturday was Make a Difference Day all across America. Coming up, we're going to show you how your friends and neighbors celebrated. Some planted flowers, others cleaned up areas, and still others observed by candlelight. We'll have more on that in a minute, but first, Your Money Matters from the D.L. Pimper Group.
Hello, I'm Dean Covington. Today I'm going to tell you about some market virtues, and for the rest of the week, look at some market gleanings. The first thing you want to do is not try to time the market. Be patient. Also, you should not let near-term events oversway your long-term investment objectives. Stick to your investment plan. Now let's look at some stocks of local interest.
Hi, I'm Dave Pemper. And I'm Bob Babcock with D.L. Pemper Group here in Rome. Bob has over 20 years of insurance experience for recommending the most cost-effective insurance coverage available.
For the best term life rates anywhere, period, call me, Bob Babcock, at D.L. Pemper Group. And remember, it's not an out-of-town 800 number.
Call 232-0012 for your free term life quote.
Live all you can. It's a mistake not to. Henry James.
The good life. Is it sporty cars and trips to exotic places? Or is it a home that's paid for and a retirement that's secure? There's a bumper sticker that says the one with the most toys wins. Others feel that the greatest reward in life is not what you get, but what you become. Whatever you want from life, look to First Floyd Bank, where you'll find everything you need under the sun. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Every year, there's a special day designated nationwide for citizens to come together to try to make an impact on their communities. 10 News reporter Misty Harris took a look at what people were doing around Rome this weekend and brings us a story.
National Make a Difference Day got an early start in Rome on Saturday morning with a brunch for the community at North Broad Baptist Church.
For a church in this community to do something like this, I think it's great because it doesn't happen that much anymore. And it's very rare, and everybody here is having a good time, and they're just blending in, you know, and it's nice. It's good for the kids.
There was food, entertainment, and shelter from Saturday's chilly weather.
It's all working for the same cause. It's all, you know, making people feel like there's hope, not just giving them a meal, but making them feel like they're important and special, because they are.
And Floyd College students didn't mind getting their hands dirty to brighten up a nursing home.
This is considered Make a Difference Day, so I thought by coming out I would help make a difference. Help the people here at the nursing home make it a better place. And we picked up trash around the lake. It's a beautiful lake and help make it look a lot better.
Make a Difference Day is about communities coming together, and that's exactly what these people did. They held a march called Safe Nick 99 and walked down the streets to promote safety and unity. Community volunteers decided to end their Make a Difference Day march right here at a Division Street intersection for some very special reasons.
One of my granddaughters was hit here, Sierra, and she almost died from that accident. But God spared her, and I fought for it, and the county commissioner listened to us. And so we made a plan, and they worked on the plan, and they done the redevelopment. And one reason I want to do it on Division Street, because this is my old neighborhood, and this is where Miss Lou Hack, which was a big guardian angel, Make a Difference Day, and I want to do this in honor of her.
Whether they were serving up a hot breakfast, planting bulbs for next spring's garden, or hitting the streets to promote safety and security, Romans were generous with their time this weekend, hoping to make a difference in our community. Misty Harris, 10 News.
Now, organizers who were responsible for these events say that they hope this weekend is only the beginning. They hope everyone will try to celebrate Make a Difference Day every day and will work together to improve our community in every way we can. Well, traffic deaths on Georgia's highways are down for last year for the first time since 1992, the Georgia State Patrol says. That's because of drug and alcohol awareness programs going on right now, like Red Ribbon Week. 10 News reporter Dan Cohen tells us how some people are fighting the war on drugs.
Everyone knows what the Red Ribbon stands for, drug and alcohol awareness and prevention. The message to kids here at West Central Elementary is beware. Drugs and alcohol are not to be taken lightly.
But I have children and grandchildren, and I want them to grow up safe and drug-free, and that's important to me. I want our young people to be the best that they can be, and drugs prevent that.
Teachers here are really trying to hit home with the drug-free message before an accident hits them first. This woman lost a friend to a drunk driver in high school.
You know, it could
happen to you before you realized it. I mean, your loved one could be taken away from you in an instant, and that's exactly how it affected us.
The Georgia State Patrol is taking part in this year's Red Ribbon Week by tying red ribbons to the antennas of their cars. Drug and alcohol awareness affects everyone, whether you use them or not, and officials here say prevention should really begin in the home.
Now they don't have the stresses, the peer pressure that they're going to have once they reach middle school, high school, to be involved in drug use. And drug use is anything from dipping skull type products to smoking cigarettes to drinking alcohol.
My father-in-law, he was killed by a drunk driver 2 years ago in Florida, and it's a very important thing to me to enforce the laws about DUIs and drugs and alcohol on the roadways and bring awareness to the people.
Officials say if they help just one person, that's one more person that they've helped who might have been destroyed by drugs or alcohol. At West Central Elementary, I'm Dan Cohen, 10 News.
Communities across the country are promoting Red Ribbon Week. Activities in Rome City schools include parades, essay writing, art contests, and ribbon tying ceremonies. Coming up, looks like more cool weather for us tonight. Your 10 News SkyTrack forecast with Jason McCleve is coming up. Then get ready to be frightened out of your mind. Well, maybe just a little scared. We'll take you to the Rome JC's haunted house. It is all coming up from your hometown news team.
Tomorrow's leaders are found today inside Northwest Georgia schools. Maybe they're not star students or athletes, but they're making a difference in their communities. You can help make them the CNWG 10 Student of the Week. Just pick up nomination forms at these local sponsors, high schools, or at Comcast, and send them in. Then watch a closer look in 10 News Wednesdays as we honor these students. One will win a college scholarship at the end of the school year. Keep watching your hometown news team. In Northwest Georgia, the weather can change in a heartbeat. That's why you need 10 News meteorologist Jason McCleve and his exclusive SkyTrack forecast. Weeknights, watch 10 News, your hometown news team.
Your 10 News SkyTrack forecast is brought to you in part by your local State Farm insurance agents. Murray Kale, Marty Callahan, Terry Lingerfeld, Teresa Lumsden, Terry Simmons, and Philip Wiggins. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Your 10 News SkyTrack forecast is brought to you in part by your local State Farm insurance agents.
Hi, Jason McCleve here with your 10 News SkyTrack weather update. Satellite imagery gets loaded up and things are pretty quiet over the eastern U.S. We see some thin clouds with the next cold front pushing eastward. Nothing really expected for northwest Georgia into Tennessee and Alabama over the next day or so. A cold front's going to move in, may bring a cloud or two, but generally there's really no precip with it. It's all well up over the lakes areas into the northeast. A mild forecast pattern has settled into the region. Florida's still dealing with a few thunderstorms, but those are fairly few and far between. Warm weather in the southwest continues. Another front brings some some wetter weather into the northwestern states tonight and through tomorrow, and again, that should stay to the north as well. Forecast lows tonight, 38 Denver, Colorado, 55 Dallas, 45 Atlanta, and 45 in D.C. Tomorrow, 81 degrees in Miami, 83 forecast for Dallas, 67 in D.C., and 66 about as high as it gets in Boston tomorrow. We'll look for some warm weather in the southwest, 92 in Phoenix, Arizona. Locally, here's what we'll expect through the night tonight. We're looking for a clear sky. You'll see some stars out there, 33 degrees, some frost likely tonight, so you may be scraping some windows tomorrow morning. Winds will be light as we head out overnight tonight and through the day tomorrow. We're going to expect to see plenty of sunshine as we head out through the day tomorrow. Your high near 70. A cooler day. Winds are going to be light and out of the southwest as we head through your Tuesday planner. Here's what's happening over the next several days at a glance. 5 days out, we've got sunshine Tuesday through Thursday. A few clouds by Friday and Saturday for us. Your highest temperatures right around 70 degrees for Tuesday. 72 Wednesday, 70 on Thursday, or rather 71 on Thursday, by Friday near 70, and back up a couple of degrees Saturday. So lower 70s, not much of a change over the next several days. Lows at night will be anywhere from 33 to 45 degrees, so warming a little bit each night as we head out over the next several nights. Looks like the warmest nights will be there with a few clouds Friday and Saturday mornings in our 5-day planner. So with that in mind, we are expecting to see a rain-free forecast. And in fact, again, through much of the work week, it's going to be a cloud-free forecast again, with generally the sunny weather expected to continue over the next couple of days. I'm meteorologist Jason McCleve. Let's look at our weather forecast. We'll take it back to the desk now with you, Ben.
Thank you, Jason. Well, this is the final week before Halloween, and if you're looking for a good scare, the Rome JCs have quite a few up their sleeves. The Jaycees House of Horrors, all set up out at the Coosa Valley Fairgrounds, ready to give you a scare if you're brave enough to enter. This year's haunted house includes some old favorites with a few new twists. And the Jaycees assure you there's plenty of fright for your money.
We're looking for everybody that wants to get a good scare to come on out this year. We've added a lot of new things to the house. Some things are back from last year. A lot of things are brand new. So it's going to be a good time for everybody.
Now, the haunted house is open Wednesday, October 27th through Halloween night from 7 p.m. until midnight at the Coosa Valley Fairgrounds. And while the Jaycees Haunted House is entertaining to many in our community, its purpose is much more intense. Today, our Jennifer Abney took a closer look at the Rome Jaycees and the help they provide in our community. Now, while they claim the haunted house is fun for the Jaycees, the real fun comes when they get to donate the proceeds to local nonprofit organizations.
We really get a lot of good feedback from the community. The Open Door Home is my favorite because that's the one. We take the kids from the Open Door Home every year Christmas shopping. So you really get on-the-spot feedback. You see these kids that they might not have had a Christmas anyway, and we take them to putt-putt and play games, and then we take them to Kmart and let each child spend $100 on themselves.
Now, to get more information about the Rome Jaycees, join Jennifer and her guests tonight at 6:30 and again tomorrow morning. Then join us tomorrow on a closer look to get some tips on storytelling and some spooky stories for this Halloween. Speaking of spooky, that was too easy. You're right.
Painted my face. How do I look?
You look all right. All things considered. Big sports weekend. Oh,
Big
God, I cannot.
sports
And a
weekend.
big sports day, and a sad day too.
Very sad as well, and Braves, when we talk about the Braves,
pretty sad.
Pretty sad as well. Their offense pretty much was at the
They were not at
Jaycees
that
haunted
game.
house. It wasn't even around. They were frightened to even swing the bat. But Braves not the only stories. You know, they're down 2-0 in the World Series, but they can still come back. The same cannot be said of Pete Rose or the man who interviewed him last night. And in high school football action Friday, 2 streaks ended. Pepperell handed Cedartown its first loss while trying upset the Darlington Tigers. We'll recap all the action when sports returns next.
Some people buy cut-rate car insurance figuring they'll probably never have a claim. But then something goes wrong, and there's no State Farm agent to turn to for help. So the choice is yours. Go with a State Farm agent who will be there for you, or go it alone.
Hi, I'm Biff Peace with Riverside Chevrolet, Oldsmobile, Cadillac, and Mitsubishi. At some dealerships, you'll find on their new cars an addendum sticker that refers to dealer add-on, market adjustment, or protection package. All that is additional dealer profit to use in the allowance towards your trade or in the discount of the purchase of your new vehicle. All GM vehicles come standard with Scotchgard fabric protection and a 6-year or 100,000-mile rust-proof warranty. So next time you find this sticker on a vehicle you're about to purchase, it's time you find yourself another dealer. I'm Biff Peace, and that's my tip of the week.
Your 10 News Video Sports is brought to you by Riverside Chevrolet Oldsmobile Cadillac, Highway 411 in Rome.
It was pretty special, I mean, for a lot of reasons. And, you know, I was happy to make the team because the fans voted. You know, and not that anything against the press voting or the other players voting. You always like for your players to vote because that's your peers, but because the fans are baseball.
You know, it was supposed to be a warm moment for Pete Rose. Instead, it turned into an ugly incident just moments after being honored for being voted to the All-Century team. Rose's interview with NBC's Jim Gray turned tense. The reaction, swift. The network and local affiliates flooded with phone calls, and Yankee players near the dugout who heard the interview said Gray was no longer welcome in their locker room anymore. Gray said he felt he was giving Rose an opportunity to clear the air. Now it's Gray has to clear up what has turned into a non-rosy smelling situation. Well, you know, for the last 2 years, no one has expected what the Darlington Tigers have accomplished. Last season's undefeated team capped its campaign with the school's first ever state championship. And through the team's first 6 games in '99, a 4th straight region title looked like it would happen. Then came the Tryon Bulldogs. Friday night at Chris Hunter Stadium, we pick up the action first quarter. That is Lee Pullum of the Bulldogs throwing deep. He finds Dustin Moss, 42 yards on the score, 7-0 Tryon. But the Tigers would come back. They drive. Scott Foss would cap it, 3-yard run, tying things up at 7. Still in the first quarter, the Bulldogs pitch out to this guy, Daniel Calhoun. Great running back. He gets loose. He would go 61 yards for the touchdown, making it 14-7. It would be tied at 14 at the half. Late in the fourth, still tied at 14. The Tigers are driving. Blake Rowland throwing deep. He is picked off by Pullum, who would return the ball to the 30. Bulldogs would then go on a march of their own down to the 20-yard line. 19 seconds left. Mikael Roque, 37-yard field goal. It's good, and that would be the winner there. The Tigers falling for the first time in nearly 2 years, 17-14, snapping their 21-game winning streak. Afterwards, Coach Jerry Sharp focused on moving ahead.
You know, we got to get ready for the next game, Gordon Lee, and that's a road game, and so we got to continue working hard and try to get better and try to correct some of these mistakes we made, and hopefully that's what these young men will do. They'll rise to the occasion. We'll be ready next week.
At Pepperell Friday night, undefeated Cedartown being hosted by the Pepperell Dragons. No score second quarter. That's Pedro Holiday taking the punt, and he would take the punt back a long way. In fact, he would go down all the way at the Cedartown 10-yard line. That would set up a Pepperell drive. It would be 4th and goal from the 1, and they would decide to go for it. Breon Ford gets the pitch. He goes in. 7-0 Dragons. It would be 7-0 at the half for Lynn Honeycutt's team. Second half, opening drive, Pepperell gets the ball. They move it down the field. This is Roderick Ware. He would hit Jonathan Neighbors for the big gain, and that would set up something Ware would do himself. A 1-yard keeper makes it 13-0 Dragons. From that point in, it was all the D in defense in Dragons. This is 4th and 5 Cedartown, the Pepperell 12. Neighbors would set up the guy, and this would be Ronnie Waddell finishing the tackle as Cedartown would turn the ball over on downs. A little bit later, once again, Neighbors smells something. He smells the old end around, and he would stick it for a big loss. The Dragons would get a shutout and the win. The final, everybody's happy, 13-0. It is the Dogs' first loss of the year and puts Pepperell in a good spot in Region 6 AA. Afterwards, Coach Honeycutt compared this victory with last week's big win over Carrollton.
It's better because we're one up more in the region as far as our goals. And now, you know, we're looking at possibly, you know, having a chance maybe play some home ball games in the playoffs if we can make that. We've been on the road. This team has been road warriors last 2 or 3 years in playoffs, and our goal is to maybe start playing some playoff ball games at home.
At Armuchee, it was homecoming, and our own Jen Abney acting as the MC for the event. First quarter going to the action. This is Lovett's Charles Beard going in from 2 yards away to make it 7-0 Lions. Now second quarter, the Indians are driving. This is Tim Spriggs. Nice run, sets up his own field goal attempt from 23 yards. It would be good. It would cut the lead to 7-3. Still second quarter, this is Dustin Wilson rolling out, finds Brian Schwanbach. Schwanbach coming down the sidelines here. He would go down at the 1-yard line. Next play would be a handoff to Joseph Pethel. Joseph would take it in, making it 10-7 Tribe. There would be no more scoring for the Indians, and the final Lions score a touchdown in the fourth. Armuchee almost scores, but does not. The final 14-10 in this one. Next up for the Tribe is a trip to Model. Speaking of Model, thank you, ladies. They were at Calhoun for homecoming. This is first quarter, 6-0 Blue Devils already when Tracy Barrett tramps into the end zone. 10-yard run makes it 12-0. Second quarter, another handoff, this time to Justin Askew, 38 yards, 19-0 Model at that point. And then, of course, it is homecoming. And if you are the homecoming queen, you get a tiara. And even though you're really, really happy, you cry a lot. Yeah, pretty sad. Anyways, third quarter, Model again, Clint Waters from his own 10. Then he would run and run and run. In fact, he'd run 90 yards all over the field, making it 26-0 Model. But the Jackets would rally. In fact, they would score once in the third and 2 more times in the fourth. But their 21 points, not enough. The Devils hold on. The final 26-21. They now improve to 5-2 on the season, 2-2 overall in Region 6A is where they stand. Elsewhere Friday night, the Woodland Wildcats erased the 3-game win streak of Rome, winning big 39-7 in Cartersville, and Coosa falling on the road to the Red Devils of Bowden 38-14. You know, finally, the sports world recently lost one of its greatest stars in Wilt Chamberlain. Today it lost another, and this time completely unexpected. Just a few months ago, Payne Stewart won his second U.S. Open in grand style. Just a few weeks ago, he was also a member of the triumphant U.S. Ryder Cup team. But today in South Dakota, Stewart, one of 5 people killed in a plane crash. Now, of course, as Ben said earlier, he will always be known for those trademark knickers. Stewart won 18 events around the world, 11 on the PGA Tour, 7 overseas. His career began back in 1980. He won over $11.7 million in that career. The PGA Tour said his spot in the Tour Championship, where he was going to in Houston this week, will not be filled. And it's a sad day for everyone. Payne Stewart, a very colorful golfer and a good guy, and gone at 42.
Very sad story, too. And a very well-liked guy from everything.
Very well-liked and very popular on the tour, obviously very stylish as well, and a figure that you just can't replace.
Had a wife and 2 children, I believe.
Yes, he did.
Sad story. Thank you, sir. Well, still to come, it was marching bands of all kinds at Barron Stadium on Saturday. We're going to take you to this year's Peach State Marching Festival. Stay tuned to your hometown news team.
Do you want to advertise on the highest rated program on cable? Then NFL Football on ESPN is the place to be. A quick stat, NFL Football on ESPN represents 9 of cable's top 10 most watched programs of 1998. Touchdown! The viewer not only gets on and off the field coverage, but they have a higher recall of advertisers, and you score big. NFL Football on ESPN topples both men and women. A whopping 30% of the audience is female. Don't get left on the sidelines. Advertise with Comcast Cable during the NFL Football on ESPN. We're waiting.
She is one of America's toughest drug enforcement agents. Last year, she helped convict 90 drug dealers, seize several tons of crack and marijuana, and close down 10 major drug operations. She is a 68-year-old grandmother named Irma. She set up a community drug watch that is not only changing her neighborhood, but its future. There are many ways to help in your community. Call the Points of Light Foundation. Do something good. Feel something real.
Well, it was a cool Saturday for this year's Peach State Marching Festival, as 38 of the area's best high school marching bands converged on Rome. The annual festival is sponsored by the Rome City School Band Program and the Band Boosters Association. While it was cool, especially Saturday night, many were saying at least it didn't rain like it did a couple of years ago. A nice day for a great afternoon, and a great evening, and great band music. An estimated crowd of 10,000 people wrapped up in blankets and just enjoyed themselves. The 26th year for the festival also marked one of the largest spectator turnouts ever. And as I say, a good time was had by all.
All 10,000 of them. I avoided that part of town.
Bunch
it
of
was
folks
my
there.
job on Saturday. A lot of people there.
Bunch of people. And a good turnout. 38 bands. That's the largest number of bands I've ever had in a performance, too. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you'll join us again tomorrow night, 6, 7, and 11 p.m. for 10 News Tonight. We'll see you then. Bye.
Bengal Roach Spray is guaranteed roach extermination overnight. It has a unique dry formula which is odorless, non-staining, and flushes insects out of hiding and kills them. Bengal Roach Spray is your solution to tough roach problems, guaranteed.
And now, the same quality that you have come to expect in Bengal Roach Spray is available in a complete line of lice-killing products. Ask for them at your local pharmacy.
And remember, if it says Bengal, it works.
I'd like to welcome you to Psychic Talk USA. What you're feeling towards your husband right now, you need to kind of let it go.
Yeah.
Because it's not all his fault.
We just got into a fight just now. I'm over at a friend's house, and she goes, you need to call these people to make you feel better.
Wow, are these women making sense to you?
Yeah. Try it yourself. We're making our best offer ever to prove to you that our psychics are real. Don't wait. Call right now.
Call 1-800-818-2464.
Alabama 7. Peyton Manning was 13 of 20 for 253 yards. But as every volunteer fan, player, and coach knows, there are two halves to any Tennessee-Alabama football game, and the Volunteers still had work to do. The defense set the tempo on Alabama's opening possession of the second half, Scott Gallion recorded a sack on Freddie Kitchens. Facing 2nd and 21, the Tide went to the air. Just what Tennessee's Terry Fair was hoping for. No points were scored on the ensuing drive, but pinning the Tide at its own 3-yard line looked just as good. The Tide scored on a 97-yard drive. But on the bright side for Tennessee, that drive ate up almost 6 minutes of the clock. That clock was becoming more and more precious for the Tide. But with that Alabama drive, it seemed like the Tide had seized the momentum in this game. Enter Jay Graham.
Lineman to rush. Ball on the white hash mark. This is Manning. Crowd deafening. Handoff Graham comes to the near side at the corner. 25-30. Outside 35-40. 45-50. 45-40. 35-30. 25-20. 15-10. 5. Yes, he went all the way. Is there a marker in the field? There is no marker on the field. Touchdown, Tennessee! Wow. 75 yards. Graham.
75 yards in just 21 seconds, and the momentum belonged to Tennessee once again. If there was ever any doubt, the defense erased that. Leonard Little logged another sack, one of 6 on the night for the defense. And now with the ball back and plenty of confidence, it was time for some razzle-dazzle. The touchdown derby was over for Tennessee, but Jeff Hall still had points to add, making the score 38-14. After a Deron Jenkins interception, it was time to notch the score at 41-14. The next defensive series was the exclamation point on this marvelous night for Tennessee. First, Shane Burton nailed Kitchens for a sack, and then Anthony Hampton found the Tide quarterback for another loss. Ray Austin announced later, if you can't stand the heat, get out, Kitchens, and Freddie left the game for his defense to mop it up. The ensuing celebration was what you would expect. Jubilation by the fans and the players and the coaches. Truly a memorable night in Birmingham, at last. The party was great while it lasted, but for the Tennessee Volunteers, that was exactly one day. Then it was time to focus on the South Carolina Gamecocks and quarterback Steve Taneyhill. It was clear in the week leading up to the battle that South Carolina was a very dangerous team. Despite a slow start on Tannehill's opening drive, the defense finished strong with this great hit on the goal line, keeping Tannehill out, and then seemingly forcing the Gamecocks to settle for a field goal. But then Leonard Little and Tyrone Hines made the Gamecocks settle for being down 7. Little breaks through to block the kick. Tyrone Hines scoops it up and heads for the goal line. The next possession for the Gamecocks proved Tannehill had a little problem. Leonard Little was in the signal caller's face all day, and this series was just a preview of things to come. On 4th and 9 at the Tennessee 27, Tannehill took the first of his many sacks. On this day, though, it took Tennessee's offense a little bit of time to get on track. What a difference a quarter makes. After defensive back Ray Austin set the tone of the quarter. Manning directed a workmanlike drive of 6 plays and 41 yards. In the next drive, the offense seemed to pick up steam. Graham did his part by gaining 16 yards after first looking to be in trouble. Eric Lane proved his versatility, catching a pass out of the backfield for 15. And Greg Kyler continued his contributions as he grabbed another one for 15 yards. Joey Kent would do the rest.
He is the lone running back behind Peyton Manning. South Carolina with 4 men to rush. Manning back to throw. Here comes the pressure. Here's Manning stepping up, dumps the pass out there, complete to Joey Kent. Kent at the 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. He has scored. Touchdown, Tennessee. Manning picked up Kent. Kent picked up the ball, and then Kent goes untouched downfield, and the Volunteers are on the scoreboard, 20-0.
The Gamecocks answered and set the score at 21-7 with 2:08 remaining in the half. First glance, didn't seem like 2:08 was a lot of time. It proved to be plenty for Tennessee. First, new return specialist Terry Fair returned the kickoff 46 yards. 3 plays into the drive, Mr. Dependable Joey Kent found a seam and 6 points. The score was 28-7 with 1:10 to go in the half and 1 more score to go. With 20 seconds to go, Steve Tannehill dropped back to pass and found the hands of Shane Burton waiting. And a truly remarkable play, Burton retrieved the ball and came up with the interception. After a 24-yard strike to Marcus Nash, Tennessee was set for a Jeff Hall field goal. Or were they?
Holding will be Price. Snapping is Ingram. It will be a 32-yard field goal try with 4 seconds to go in the first half of the game. It will be running the ball instead. This is Price breaking a tackle. This is Price. He has the most of 15, 10, 5. Ladies and gentlemen, he has scored a Tennessee touchdown. The Volunteers come with a fake field goal, and Jay Price dances into the end zone. He's a happy player, as are his compatriots, and Tennessee's Jeff Hall and Jason Price embrace one another as the Volunteers tack on a touchdown.
In the second half, Leonard Little continued to get to know Steve Tannehill. With Carolina stalled, Terry Fair continued his impressive return duties, but the offense faltered, at least temporarily. A Jeff Hall field goal was blocked, but South Carolina gave the ball right back to Tennessee's Billy Barron, who gave it to Tyrone Hines, who gave it back to Peyton Manning, who gave it to Jay Graham. Graham kept it long enough to ramble 17 yards on a screen with Smith, Miller, and Poole in front, and Tennessee led it 42-7. After South Carolina scored in its next possession, Jay Graham pulled a play reminiscent of the Alabama game, just when USC thought they had some momentum built up from the score.
Flankers left and right. Manning for Tennessee gives to Graham. Popping up the middle, big hole. Graham to the 35, to the 40, to the 45, to the 50, to the 45, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, 67 yards, Jay Graham.
Tennessee 49, Carolina 14. The offense and the defense each had one more big play up their sleeve.